Shall we start finally?
I think so. It's
Yes, sir.
5:35
Yes, sir.
now.
Yes, sir.
Already 75 people have logged in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chalo, all the best, everybody. Madam, take over.
Jeneka person is busy activating the YouTube link. So Tejveer may have to share the PPT. Just check it with the Jeneka person.
I think we can start with the introduction and the welcome note and all.
Yeah.
Of course. All the best.
Yeah. So, good evening, friends. I invite you all on behalf of ISA Borivali. I invite our national GC member, Dr. Pankaj Gupta, and all our esteemed guests, the speakers, and the delegates. It is a great pleasure to invite you all for our first financial webinar. We had initially, during the time of installation, we had said, let's learn investments so that practicing as an anesthetist is a passion, not a compulsion. Let us learn how to invest well so that we do not have to bother about the money part. We can just learn how to invest in all different mutual funds that our speakers will enlighten us. And let us learn how to start with minimal risk and gradually increase, just like we use a new anesthesia drug. How we start with low risk, increase the risk taking capacity. In the same way, let us learn investment for people who do not know anything at all. This will be our first webinar, and we intend to bring 2-3 more webinars on finances so that we can really learn how to invest wisely and safely. So I hand over the proceedings to Dr. Rajesh Rao, and let us fall in love with investments. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. We have a excellent discussion topic today. We are going to talk. We have got great speakers. We have chosen people from our own branch, from ISA, Chhattisgarh, Nagpur, Aurangabad, Nashik, and our own Mumbai, to speak on a very important topic. And I think at the end of the session, we will be enlightened and will help us in making our investments in future and old age better. Only one issue is there. We could not, I regret to inform everybody that though we had applied for MMC points, till last moment we were trying for the same. But since this is not a medical topic, they have denied us the medical point. But I assure you that at the end of the session, you will end up earning much more. And rather than one which we can always, we will try to take care of that in the future webinars. So I hand over now to Dr. Tejveer to continue with the introduction of speakers and each topic. And before, one more last announcement, that just before the panel discussion will start, we are going to release the, whatever you say, trailer or of our upcoming huge state level conference, the Yuva Mahakav CME, which is there in August. So we all request you to go through that, and we start the early bird registrations from tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to Tejveer. I request the members not to mention their MMC registration numbers. Just attend and need not mention, because this CME is not granted MMC points. And no speaker is going to recommend or they are not representing any financial institutions. It is their own perspective what they're going to speak. We are not endorsing any financial investments, any banks, any companies for financial investment. Please take over.
Yeah, thank you, Rafa. Good evening, all my senior colleagues, esteemed speakers, and friends. With this brief introduction by Rao sir, we go straight away to our topic. Everyone wants to make money. It's not easy, that we all know. We have spent lots of years in learning medicine. We should learn at least something about it before we jump into it. So I invite our first speaker for today, Dr. Anshul Divakar. He's a postgraduate anesthetist. Done his MBBS from BJ Medical and PG from Government Medical College Nagpur and PD Indira College. He is a national faculty for anesthesia at DAMS, that is Delhi Academy of Medical Sciences. And he is a faculty of anesthesia at Global Anesthesia Medical Education. Basically, he loves to teach anesthesia, but he is also an avid investor. And he learns to teach about that also. So we go over to Dr. Anshul Divakar. Welcome, sir. I'll start sharing your screen.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, sir. I thank ISA Borivali wholeheartedly for giving me this opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very
Tejvi
much
sir, am I
audible.
audible?
Very much audible.
Yeah. All right. So, my job today is probably one of the most difficult jobs in the world. That is to summarize everything that we need to or we would want to know about investment. So, I will try to be brief. I will try to be quick. At the same time, I will try to show you all everything that is there in the buffet of financial management. Next slide. Before I start, I want to thank you all for being here, for coming and taking this first step towards financial freedom. Uh, I have always believed in this very common notion that the first step towards solving any problem is recognizing that there is one. So all of you who are here today, who have come here to listen to this talk, you have realized that yes, financial management is a very important part of what we do every day. So thank you all for coming, and I'm really very grateful for this opportunity to share my part of knowledge about this very important topic. At the start, I want to tell that there is no financial obligation, no financial obligation with anyone. I am not associated with any investment strategies. I don't endorse any. And this is a financial education webinar. This is not a tips webinar. We are not going to tell you what you have to do, what you have to buy, what you have to sell. We are only going to enlighten you to the world of investment, hoping that you will gain the adequate knowledge to be able to do it yourself. Next slide, please. So next slide, Tejveer sir. Right. Before I start, I'm going to tell you from where have I taken the sources that I'm going to show you. Most of the stuff that I'm talking about is on Google. Everything is on Google. It's just the way how you want to approach it. I'm also associated with an organization called as WealthCon, and I am their graduate. So I've taken a lot of studies and teachings from them. Zerodha Varsity is a very good platform to learn everything about investment and stock market. And obviously the gold standard for starting investment, that is a book called as Rich Dad Poor Dad. Now, Charlie Munger is the person whom we listen very less about. We talk about Warren Buffett, but he is the one who manages Berkshire Hathaway, which is one of the biggest investment companies in the world. And he told once, the big money is not in buying and selling, the big money is in waiting. So with this notion, we are going to start our session. So next slide, please. Right. So what we are going to discuss today is most important thing. Why are we here? What is the role of inflation in decreasing the value of your money and how we can counter it by the power of compounding? We will discuss a general overview of the types of investments and some common myths about investment which are there in all of your mind. You don't talk it with anyone else, but we'll try to bust it. Next slide, sir. Now, what is the question that comes to everybody's mind when they start earning money? This is something that everybody thinks. We finish our PG, we start our first job, we start earning X amount of money. Initially, everything is rosy good. We feel we are earning a lot and we are spending very less, so we start spending a lot. And after few months, you realize, okay, the earning is now going to be there forever. We need to start planning. And then the questions that come to your mind: how to keep your money safe, how to beat inflation. If at all you open the newspaper in the morning, you see, okay, inflation has risen this much, inflation has come down this much. How to plan retirement safely and securely. This is a thought that usually comes after you have marriage and your first kid. Then you start thinking, okay, how will I retire? How will I manage my second half of life? When to start investing? How to start investing? Am I capable of managing my own money? Which is a very, very big question for most of us doctors, because we are very limited in our knowledge. We know intricacies of physiology, we know intricacies of how a human body works, but we have barely any understanding of the financial world, which is far more easier, conceptual, and simple mathematics than we can imagine. And how do I earn money without work? And I'm sure, as an anesthetist, everybody who has attended night calls 3 to 4 times in a week, when he comes back in the morning and he sees that his family is now getting up and having a cup of tea, they keep thinking and telling themselves, yeah, when will that time come when I will sit and have a cup of coffee and the money will be working for me? So these are the questions that come to everyone's mind, and this is the reason why you need to start financial planning. Next slide, sir. Right. So we'll talk first about inflation. Why do we talk about inflation? This is the reason. What is inflation? We read about it every day in the newspaper. We talk about it. महंगाई बहुत बढ़ गई है, महंगाई बहुत बढ़ रही है. If you think from the time when you were little and you were in class 7th, 8th, तब पापा बोलते थे कि अरे महंगाई बहुत बढ़ गई है, you have to stop spending so much, to the time now we keep reading about it. What is inflation? It is a rise in price, which can be translated as decline of purchasing power over time. What is important is decline in purchasing power. That means whatever money you have, if you just stash it in a bag and keep it under your bed, then the value of that money will keep on falling. So if you see an example of what the value of 1 lakh rupees would be from 2018, considering 8% inflation, which is like a normal inflation rate, 7 to 8%, then by the time you reach 2053, it would be just 5,000 rupees, and the value will more or less become half in the next 8 years, right? 8 to 10 years. So this is the reason why we talk about inflation, because even if you think you are not a part of inflation, we do believe that if you don't do anything with your money, its value is going to decline and it would not be the same year after year. Rajesh sir, I can see you. My screen has gone. Tejvi sir, can you please see?
Sir, it is visible.
Yeah. Yeah, now it is visible. Thank you, sir. Can you change the slide? Now a question comes to our mind that, okay, inflation is going to be there forever. Inflation is not going to decrease. So then what to do? Then you try to beat the inflation. That means if you put your money in a place which is going to earn you a rate of interest, which is more than the rate of inflation, then by default you are beating the inflation and your money's value will not decrease, or if you are very good at it, your money's value will actually increase. So for that we use something called as compounding, which is the considered to be the eighth wonder in the world. What is compounding? This is something we read first time in class 9th when we were taught simple interest and compound interest. Compound interest is increasing value of the asset due to interest earned on both principal and accumulated interest. So when you earn an interest, the interest will also add to the principal, and it will again, interest will add on it, compounding its effect. Now I've put a simple table, but this table is not so important as is the next slide. Please, the next slide. Right, this is the formula for compound interest. This is something we read in class 9th. Amount is principal 1 plus R, which is the interest rate, by a number of times the interest is compounded per year, to the bracket to the whole power NT, that is the time in years. Now look at the most important thing. There are the two most important things here. First is the interest rate, Second is the time, and time is squared. That means it goes to the power. So the value is in the time. What we always believe is that if we want more returns, then we should have more rate of interest of return, right? We think, okay, what if we invest in a company or we invest in a strategy and there is a 100% return, or there is a 200% return, or a 300% return? But we never pay attention to the fact that if you increase the horizon of your time, automatically compounding works wonder for you. So at a 15% rate of interest, your mathematically your value of your money will become 100 times in 33 years. But when you see it at 50%, it will happen in 12 years. So it's simple mathematics. But will it be possible to generate a rate of interest of 50%? Next to impossible. Even the index funds and the index doesn't beat this thing. So it is always better to target a lower rate of interest, but to keep the money for a longer time. So the first thing that we need to know is, in investment, what is most important is how to be patient to keep the money for a longer time. Next slide, sir. How compounding works wonder. Now, this is a very common example. This I've taken from internet. Okay, you can go and you can search compounding examples, hundreds of examples on internet. Mr. Joshi, Mr. Das. Start year 1980 for Mr. Joshi, for Das 1995. Period 35 years of investment for Joshi and 20 years for Das. First year investment is 6,000 for Joshi and 15,000 for Das, and the investment increased 10% for Joshi, which is less, and 15% for Das. Total invested amount almost the same, 16.2 lakh, 15.7. But look at an assumed rate of interest. What is the difference at the end of it? The Mr. Joshi is earning significantly higher, even with a nominal rate of interest of 8%, 39.9, that is 40 lakh to 25 lakh of Mr. Das. Why? Because compounding works wonders when you stay invested for a longer time. So the most important thing to grow your money is to stay invested for a longer period of time. That means to start early. Next slide, sir. Now, this is something that we have seen, Three Idiots. If compounding was a movie, then he will say, "मैं millimeter से centimeter बन गया." Stay invested for a long period of time. Start early as possible, preferably in 20s, but with we doctors, it would usually in 30s. And start with small amount that is doable. Next slide, sir. Right. Now, this is an overview of what I want to tell you. Little bit about the thought process of investing. The idea of investing is to beat inflation. Always remember, idea of investing is to beat inflation. How to beat inflation? To stay invested for a long period of time. The different options are the ones that we talk the most, but we know the least. That is direct equity. That is the stock market. Second is what you see the most ads on, mutual funds. Then you have a lot of government-based schemes like National Pension Scheme, PPF, bank fixed deposit. Now, as a middle class Indian person, fixed deposit is something which I feel is the best strategy in the initial few years, because I feel my money is safe. And then there are a lot of government based schemes. Some have liquidity, some don't, but most of them have nominal returns. They have returns which usually doesn't beat the inflation. Next slide, sir. Now, this is a table from what was the post office small saving scheme interest rates from 2020. Right? So if you can see effective return, if you see the rightmost column, then effective return in all post office schemes never really goes beyond 8.5%. But most of these returns, they are taxable. So if you are in a 30% tax bracket, then they will be 30% decrease, and you will not be able to beat the inflation. Not that they are bad options, but these are the safer options, because when you invest in government, we know the government is not going to fail because the country will never fail. So it is always safer. And there is a very simple principle that when you focus more on safety, then automatically the return decreases, the risk appetite increases, the return increases, but the propensity of loss also increases. So these are certain small saving schemes which are given by the government of India, out of which we usually focus on something called as Provident Fund, Public Provident Fund. This is a bank account link, and we also invest in it because its income is tax free, as well as you get a tax benefit when you are investing in ATC, right? and you also invest in Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana and NPS, which is National Pension Scheme, right? Next slide, sir. Now, sir, has the slide skipped? सर आई थिंक 2 स्लाइड पीछे जाएंगे क्या? थोड़ा सा स्किप हो गया बीच का. पीछे पीछे सर, पीछे. गो बैक. आगे बढ़ रहा है सर, प्लीज पीछे.
Sir, just a minute.
यस सर, नो प्रॉब्लम. या सर, 2 स्लाइड्स बैक. नहीं, फिर आगे जा रहा है. पीछे पीछे. आप राइट क्लिक करके बैक बैक करिए सर. See, this is one of the things that we have to learn before we actually go and think of investing in stock market. That is patience. Technical glitches are a very important part of what we do. Yes, sir. Please, next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next. 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 Right. So this is what I wanted to start with. And sir, back. अरे फिर आगे बढ़ गया सर. आप राइट क्लिक करके अगर करेंगे तो इट वुड बी इजियर. All right, so I'll start talking. First is what are the basics of investment? The slide will come, but it's okay. You can listen to me. That is not a problem. So you have to understand that the whole idea of investment is to know about your money, and you can only know about money when you do budgeting, when you do auditing. So the basic principle is income minus expense is your saving. Next, but sir, that's it. Stop. Okay. So income minus expense is saving. This is a basic fund of investment. You only invest your savings. You don't invest your income. You might be earning 1 crore rupees a month, but if you are spending 1.2 crore rupees a month, then you are effectively not saving anything. If you're not saving anything, there is no fund of investment. Savings are divided usually into 2 categories: liquid money for emergency and money intended for investment. So also you have to keep certain liquid money which you can use in case there's an emergency. Maintain budgeting, that is track all finances. Then classify your expenses. The common classifications are fixed, variable, whether something that will happen like Bijli bill is fixed, variable, Bijli bill is variable, fixed is your phone bill, urgent something that can wait, but EMIs can't wait. Necessary versus luxury. This is something very important. Do you really need an iWatch? Do you really need an iPhone? No. Any normal phone will go. If you are low on budget, you should not really spend. Avoidable and unavoidable, which is something like necessary and luxury. Remember a basic funda: extra cash means extra investment. This is a common thing that happens to us when we start earning more money than we are spending. Then we have some money lying around in the house or in your bank account, and you feel ज़्यादा पैसा है, चलो कुछ नया खरीद लेते हैं. So you'll buy a new big car, or you'll buy a new gold jewelry, or you'll buy a new iWatch, and you'll feel मेरे पास ज़्यादा पैसा था, मैंने ज़्यादा खर्चा कर दिया. But the idea is when you have extra cash lying around, make it a habit of investing more. Most important thing in investment is goal based investment approach: short, medium, long term. Always look at the goal. What do you want? And there is always this concept of risk versus reward. That means if you are taking more risk, you will get more reward. If you're taking less risk, less reward. So you can't expect कि FD आपको 15% rate of interest दे देगा. But yes, if you effectively invest in a diversification, then there's a possibility that you might actually end up beating the inflation. Next slide, sir. Now, investment opportunities are all dependent on your mindset. Remember, investment हर type का होता है. It depends how you want to invest in it. So if you look at this table, it goes from low risk to high risk. Low risk is non-inflation beating. We are keeping inflation at 6.5%. So any rate of interest less than that is non-inflation beating, and more than that is inflation beating. And then there are three types of strategies: low risk, moderate risk, high risk. Low risk is when you are income defensive or risk averse. Then what you do is you put in fixed deposits, you book in Kisan Vikas Patra. Then moderate is a hybrid. You mix and match. थोड़ा PPF में डाल दिया, थोड़ा म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल दिया, थोड़ा सा इंडेक्स फंड्स में डाल दिया. And then when you really go to high risk, then you go on equity stock market. कुछ autopilot पे, like you do it in ETFs, or कुछ you keep on uh, investing in stock market, which you might see some of your friends or seniors doing. पैसा लगा रहे हैं, निकाल रहे हैं, शेयर बेच रहे हैं, खरीद रहे हैं. Next slide. So we started with one of the least risk averse, that is all the post office schemes. Next slide, sir. These are all the post office schemes. I'm not going into the details of it. Details of the investment, how to start investment, will come as the next topic by very learned exam teachers. So I'm just going to give you an overview. So next slide, please. Next slide, sir. Right. Gold is something that we all feel that it is one of the best investment strategies for us. So I'm just giving an overview how many types of gold: gold jewelry, bar and coin, ETF, mutual fund, and sovereign gold bond. Out of which gold jewelry, bar and coin, they are very good, but the problem is quality and you have to store it. So there's always a risk that there will be theft. ETF is amazing, but the problem is that purity. The problem is that you might need to have a demat account and all that online thing. And best is sovereign gold bond, which is given by the government of India. Purity is highest. Whatever they write on the paper is the purity, and the returns that come till now are tax free. Next slide, sir. Now, something that is on everybody's mind, because we see so many ads around us: mutual funds. Now, mutual funds are nothing but you are giving your money to someone else to invest in stock market. So there are hundreds and hundreds types of mutual fund. They can be open-ended, close-ended, interval funds, depending on the asset class. Where are they investing? It can be equity, that is in stock market; debt, that is in debt, government bonds; money market, that is options and tradings and money market; hybrid funds, which mix and match everything. And then based on objective, you can have growth funds, which are trying to increase the value of your money; fixed income, which will give you money in intervals; tax savings; liquid funds; pension funds. Then you have specialty funds like sectoral funds. So you can have IT, you can have bank, you can have Nifty, you can have index mutual funds, which is also called as ETF, which is exchange traded funds. Then you have funds of funds. That means some fund is doing so great that a fund manager decides, I'll only invest in funds, the different mutual funds. And then you have risk based differentiation: low risk, medium risk, and high risk. Usually low risk are all the top Nifty 50 companies. These are the blue chip companies, which we call large cap companies, and high risk are usually small cap companies. Next slide, sir. Then this is it's like a Pandora's box. Equity. Everybody wants to earn money from stock market, but nobody really knows how. But there are different types of investment in equity as well. You can either invest in growth stocks, or you can invest in blue chips, or you can invest in stocks which give you dividends. So there are a lot of stocks which don't really show their profit on the on they divide the profit with their stockholders, so they give a lot of dividends. And then you have some value stocks. Next slide, sir. Now, what was the whole idea of me talking about these things? The whole idea was to present to you a buffet of investment. Now, just how you go to a buffet and there are like 30, 40 things there, but you end up eating 7, 8 of them. You eat what you feel like eating, you eat what is to your choice. So there is no fixed rule. Somebody besides you might be eating all 30, somebody might be eating only one. But what is important is, once you reach the investment buffet, you have to start. You have to start eating. You have to start investing. And don't run after quick buck. That is the best, most important advice anybody can give you. Don't think that you will double your return in 3 months. If anybody tells you 3 महीने में पैसा double, उसको बोलना bye. Please don't talk to me. He is going to make you empty. आपका बहुत hard work से कमाया हुआ पैसा will go down the drain. Patience is the key to financial investment, financial planning. And always start with passive investment and then become an active investor. This is what I did. I hired an investment advisor. I paid him the money. for the first 3 years of my life. He made my portfolio. He made me very happy. I paid him money for that. And then in 3 years, I started learning. And 3 years, at the end of it, I said, okay, thank you so much. You go. And now I manage my own money. And that is why it is important to take help. Next slide, sir. Once you start, you'll feel on the top of the world. Remember this thing. And it always starts like this only. You first start with FD, you feel अरे वाह 7% आ रहा है, आपको FD का रिटर्न दिख रहा है, आप टैक्स भी दे रहे हो, आपके AIS TIS में भी दिख रहा है, AIS 26 में भी दिख रहा है, आपको लग रहा है वाह 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 मैंने FD बनाया, पापा ने भी FD बनाए थे, मैंने भी FD बनाए. फिर आपको कोई बताता है अरे गोल्ड बहुत अच्छा है, गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट कर दो, तो आप फिजिकल गोल्ड, गोल्ड बॉन्ड्स, SGB में गए, वहां पे भी आपको 4-6% का रिटर्न है. फिर आपको किसी ने बोला, टीवी में देखा म्यूचुअल फंड, हाँ हाँ बहुत मजा आ रहा है, 17%, 18%, 12% रिटर्न आ रहा है. And then you reach a stage where you manage your own money and you go to stock market. So this is usually the journey of an individual, how they start investing. Now I'm going to talk, so please next slide. Now I'm going to talk about certain myths. I'll only going to take 2-3 more minutes. Now this is something which most of the people who have not started to invest, they talk to me about. So they have certain preset notions in their mind, and they are so strong that they are not able to change it. So I will debunk these myths for you. Managing money is difficult and complicated. Trust me, financial education, financial literacy, managing money is a 7th grade subject. Once you start reading, and you start reading it one by one, you will realize it is much more easier than giving anesthesia. Stock market is risky. You know, stock market is risky for whom? Who don't have patience, who are there to earn money rather than understanding the stock market, who only want to invest in small cap companies. वो जिसका 2 रुपए 5 रुपए का शेयर है, they think आज 5 रुपए का है, कल 50 रुपए का है, मैं निकल जाऊंगा. They are the people who lose money. FDs are super safe. See, nothing is safe. Everything is safe and everything is unsafe. You have seen that there are banks who have failed, and you have seen that there are stocks who have failed. So nothing is safe. But yes, FD is a relatively safer option with very less returns. Always invest in land. It gives tremendous returns. Nothing like that. A lot of studies have proven that XIRR, which is the time adjusted return, that has been proven that land doesn't really give you more than 10-15% return. Also, land becomes a liability because liquidity is not present. You want to sell a land today, the next time you get an opportunity, maybe a year later. Buy gold and keep it in locker. That is the worst thing you can do, because the gold that we buy, the physical bars of gold, their valuation keeps on changing. आप अभी खरीदोगे, 10 साल बाद जाके किसी ज्वेलरी वाले को दोगे, बोलेगा सर ये 92% प्योर है, आपको उसने गलत दे दिया था. Insurance is equal to investment. That is what, when India got independence, we had no concept of saving. So government introduced something called as LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, and they made plans where if you invest money, they are going to give you benefit in the tax under ATC, and they will also give you some incentive at the end of the period. So everybody started believing that insurance is investment, which is not. And I'm very busy and I don't have time for investment. This is like the reason that you give कि बाहर बारिश हो रही है इसलिए मैं खेलने नहीं जाऊंगा या मैं दौड़ने नहीं जाऊंगा. Everybody is busy, and because you are so busy, that is the reason why you should always invest your money, because you can't always be busy, and money always attracts greed. This is like people who don't have money, they give this usually they give this justification कि money आएगा तो उसके साथ बहुत सारा greed आएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. आप money कमा के भी you can be very, very safe and happy. Next slide, sir. Usually we talk about retirement planning. This is the fund of retirement planning. If you don't start investing now, this will be your retirement plan. देखेंगे भगवान जो हमारे लिए कर दे. Next slide, sir. Now, this is something that I want to tell you, that retirement planning, why is it important? This is a basic retirement corpus calculation, which is from internet. If you see that a person lives up to 85 years, wants to retire at 60 years, that means post-retirement 25 years. And if you say that there is a 6 lakh annual retirement expense that he needs, then in 25 years, he is going to need 1.45 crores. Years for retirement, suppose I'm 35 right now, so 25 years to retirement, and inflation is 8%. So a basic calculation will tell you that your retirement corpus should be 10.3 crore for you to be able to have an annual expense of 6 lakhs for 25 years. So you need to start building your portfolio from today, and then in 25 years, you will reach a stage where you will be 10.3. This is just to tell you the importance of retirement planning. Next slide, sir. Now, before we start anything, we always feel it is going to be very difficult, and so we don't really invest in it, and we are running away from it. But remember, in the end, we always regret the chances that we did not take. So go out there, invest your money, read about it, do it scientifically. We are scientific people. If we can give anesthesia for different conditions to different people safely, so you can invest your money in the stock market. Next slide, sir. This is what I wanted to talk about, basic overview of investment. Of course, the speakers who are going to come after me, they are going to enlighten you with lot more depth, which is going to be very useful for you. And I hope this has just begun to initiate a scientific curiosity in you to be able to go out tomorrow and start reading and start understanding and start investing your money. Thank you so much. Thank you for patient listening.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a wonderful overview. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Hello? Okay. So I can hear myself.
Yes, sir.
We have a full house here. 100 people. In fact, our Rao sir had we accidentally logged out because of network issues, and then he's not able to log in again. So we have a good response here. I now call upon our next speaker, Dr. Daksha Mandania.
बोलना मत बीच में.
Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have a CV slide for ma'am, but
So I
ma'am is
will open it.
yeah, please.
Is it?
All I know about madam is that she
Yes, madam,
the
it is visible.
faculty at Welspun.
Click on play button.
Yes, but
Yeah.
just a minute. The play button is. I am
Yes,
not
yes,
able
yes.
to
It is
click
open.
on play. I'm trying, but I am not.
Yeah.
Yes, madam,
All is
visible.
visible.
Is it visible? Just a minute.
Yes, sir.
ये डॉग बीच में आ रहा है क्या? हाँ, okay. Is it visible, Ram? Audible? So, very good lecture by Dr. Ankur. Thank you, sir. I thought we will start with investment. Before that, I would like to have disclaimer that I am not a SEBI advisor, and this information, whatever we are giving, not me, all speakers are giving, is just for financial awareness. All the talks are kept for the novice people who are not into finance management. Do not take our advice as professional advice. We are not giving you any tips. You just learn, gain knowledge, and invest as per your risk appetite. So we will start with debt funds. Before that, I will like to say a few words that when you start investment, there are 4 options. First is gold, second is real estate, third is equity, and fourth is debt funds. So gold, we call this GRED, that is grade ratio. The ratio should be in a gold and debt fund. You should invest around 10% of your total investment. And in real estate and in equity, you should invest around 40% if your risk appetite is good. You can change the ratio as per your risk appetite. So today I will cover the D part of the GRED, that is debt funds. So what are debt funds? Debt funds are the investments where you get the fixed interest rate and fixed returns. But they have few problems, like they have lock-in period. It can start like in FD, it is minimum 7 days, and in other investment, it lasts for years. but these are considered as the most safe investments because the returns are fixed. There are no negative returns in debt funds. So first we will start with PPF. I am not describing fixed deposit because it is not considered as a good investment because of it does not beat inflation. So we will start with PPF. I know most of us invest in public provident fund, but many of us just invested for tax purpose. सीए ने बोला कि आप पीपीएफ में 1.5 लाख रुपया डाल दो और हम डाल देते हैं. We should know its pros and cons. So what is PPF? It's a public provident fund. It's a saving cum tax saving instruments. It says tax under 80C of income tax. It is a exempt. Many people call it EEE. So what is exempt? Exempt, you exempt tax on the money you जो पैसा हम डालते हैं, that is tax free. The interest you get is tax free. And when you withdraw the amount, the whole amount is tax free. So you don't need to pay any capital gain tax or any type of tax on PPF. It is backed by central government of India. So assurance is there. Whatever amount you are going to put it, you will get it back. There is no doubt about getting bankrupt as in case of FD. You can open the account in any nationalized bank or selected authorized private banks like ICICI or HDFC or in post office. The most important thing is it is transferable from one city to other city in India. So what are the eligibility to open the PPF account? You should be resident of India. Only individuals are allowed to open PPF. HUF or any association or trust cannot open PPF account. Minors are allowed through guardian or parents. There cannot be any joint account. NRIs are not allowed to open PPF. Minimum deposit is 500, maximum is 1,50,000 in a year. If you invest more than 1.5 lakh in a year, you won't get any interest. So this quarter, the interest paid on PPF is around 7.1%. Initially, it used to be around 8.5%, but slowly government is decreasing the interest rate on PPF. But and it is paid on 31st March of every year. So you get yearly payment on 31st March, and it is calculated on lowest balance between 5th and last day of month. So the best time to invest in PPF is 1st to 4th April of every year, so that you will get interest on whole year. Most of us invest in PPF in month of March, क्योंकि तभी याद आता है कि ये टैक्स सेविंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट है और इसमें पैसा डालना है, which is wrong. You should invest in PPM at the start of the financial year so that you will get interest for the whole year. The account matures after 15 years. This is one of the advantage, so that for 15 years you cannot touch the amount, but it is disadvantage also. There are after 15 years, there are 3 options. You can withdraw your money or you can continue without contribution. You will get interest, or you can continue with contribution also. You can get loan on PPF from 3rd to 5th year, and the rate of interest will be 2% more. Like if you are getting 7% interest, your interest rate will be 9%. Only maximum 25% amount आपके अकाउंट में जितना सेकेंड ईयर के बाद में है, उसका सिर्फ 25% अमाउंट आपको लोन करके मिलेगा, which you have to return in 36 months, that is 3 years. And if not returned, the interest rate will rise by 6%. So it's not a good idea to take loan on PPF. In case if you default, that you don't pay any year's amount, 50 years penalty you have to pay, and you can reactivate the account. In case of death, your nominee or legal heir will get the whole amount. You can withdraw amount from the 7th financial year. Only 50% amount is allowed to withdraw. You cannot withdraw 100% amount. 100% amount can be withdrawn only after 15 years of completion. After completion of 5 years, you can close the account prematurely if any member is suffering from a major disease and you need that amount, or for higher education of the PPF holder. This is another debt products given by Government of India, and this is only for younger generation who are blessed with daughters and their daughters are below 10 years of age. The product is Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana. In this product, it is launched by Government of India, that is by NAMO, in 2015 as a part of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign. As I told, only you can open this account only for a girl child. You can open account in post office or authorized commercial bank. Your daughter should be less than 10 years, and for every child, for every daughter, only one account is allowed and maximum 2 accounts allowed, except in case of triplets or twins, second twins, not first twins. This is quite similar to PPF, but advantages are more. Like in PPF, the initial amount is 500, minimum amount is 500. Here you can deposit 250, but same maximum amount allowed is 1.5 lakh. And if you default, 50 rupees fine is there. So what are the advantages and how it works? So girl child can operate this account after 10 years of age. You have to deposit amount for 14 years altogether. Like if you have opened at 5 years of age, you have to deposit amount every year till she becomes 19 years. But she can start operating the account from 15 years of age. At the age of 18 years, she can withdraw 50% of amount for her higher education. So it is advisable to start the account of your child as early as possible. If you start at the age of 1 or 2 year, at the age of 16, she will be in 12th. You have already deposited all 14 installments. So the amount she will get will be more. The amount matures after 21 years. So for 7 years, you just get interest. You don't need to put any money in the account. The interest rate is always higher than PPF. Like it is 7.1% for PPF and it is 8.2% for Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana. You can close this after 21 years of starting the account, or if the girl gets married, or on maturity, balance and interest is payable to account holder, and it also comes under EEE, that is investment is tax free. Similarly, interest and when you get the amount, that is also tax free. Premature closure can be done in death or marriage of a girl child, and if the child become NRI. This is in very short, I am telling about corporate bonds, which are also known as non-convertible debentures. These are debt security issued by corporation in order to raise fund. That is by any company like Reliance, HDFC. They sell bonds to raise money. In this, you will earn only interest rate and you won't earn profit. These are not shares. These are the bonds sold by the companies. If a company goes in bankruptcy, even then your share price will be zero, but the company will pay the amount to its bondholders. So it is safer than the stocks or shares, but the returns are limited as decided by company. So it has fixed low risk investment plan. Similar to corporate bonds, we get government securities with same conditions. Now I will come to National Pension Scheme. Initially, in 2004, Central Government of India had started it for only its employees, except defense people. Then slowly they decided to increase its aura, and general public has been also involved in it. So there are two types of NPS, Tier 1 and Tier 2. In Tier 1 is for central employee, central government employee, and Tier 2 is for non-central government employee. So we will discuss only Tier 2. This is a new pension scheme launched in 2009 for all citizens of India. Any person above age 18 till 60 years can invest in it. There will be no contribution of government. On registration, you will get an account number from the post office that is called permanent retirement account number, which is transferable in India. And Pension Fund Regulatory and Developmental Authority of Government of India manages this. So there is very less. It's also a safe fund. So there are two choices in NPS. One is active choice, that is auto choice. If you are little active and understand the share market or debt fund, which is good, which is bad, accordingly, they have decided it in asset class E, asset class C, G, and A. In asset class E, investment is predominantly in equity market instruments. In C, there are debt funds like government securities. In class G, they invest only in government securities. And in class A, they invest in alternative investments like REIT, means real estates, and Air Force, etc. If you don't understand where to invest, which is better, you can go for auto choice. That is life cycle fund. So what is life cycle fund? They have given three life cycle funds: LC 75, LC 50, and LC 25. In LC 75, 75% fund is invested in equity at the age of 35, and they reduces the percentage of equity slowly over the years. Same with LC 50, 50% amount in equity, and in LC 25, 25%. You can opt for the life cycle fund as per your risk appetite. So what are the advantages of NPS? It's a very transparent, because run by Government of India. Under 80CCD, it gives you tax efficient of 50,000 rupees. You will save tax on 50,000. The management charge is lowest in NPS compared to mutual fund and other funds. The brand, that is the number you get on registration, is portable. It's very low cost because there are no other charges, very simple and flexible. But it has disadvantage is that the lock-in period is longest. Suppose you start at the age of 20, you cannot withdraw the amount till the age of 60 because it's a pension plan. At the age of, if you plan to withdraw it before 60 years of age, so you can withdraw only if you have invested more than 10 years in NPS, and only 20% of amount you have invested you can withdraw as a lump sum. Rest 80% will be kept with post office, and you will be given after 60 years as a pension or say annuity. Even if you keep the amount at till 60 years of age, you will get 40% amount. Suppose you have invested total 1 lakh, you will get 40,000 without tax amount on your 60th birthday. 20% amount you will get, and you have to pay tax on that 20% amount. 40% amount government will keep with them, and they will give you on monthly basis as a pension. So total returns are very low, which is 6 to 7%. It does not beat inflation. So you won't get a good amount after investing so much over so long. So even return is taxable. So we don't advise a lot. There are one mutual fund, ELSS. I'm just comparing, should one invest in PPF or ELSS? In PPF though PPF is very safe compared to ELSS, the returns are more in ELSS. Tax benefits are same in both. In PPF, lock-in period is long, that is 15 years, but in ELSS, it is only 3 years. You can partially withdraw amount in PPF, but you cannot withdraw amount in ELSS before 3 years. And there is no upper limit of investment in ELSS. Thank you. I want to share one more slide. Just a minute. Yes. Am I visible? My slides are visible?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yes. So the second part of GRED is first part is gold. As I have said, you should invest 10% in gold and 10% in debt fund. I have covered the debt funds where you can invest with a fixed return. Now, gold as an investment option as a part of GRED. So generally, most of us invest in physical gold. Ladies like to buy jewelry, and we buy 24 karat gold in form of coin, or we say della. So most of doctors like to invest in physical gold. For all ladies, I will like to say jewelry is not an investment because we have emotional attachment to it and the making charges are high. So returns are not that good. And generally, we don't sell our jewelry. So why then we why we buy physical gold? Because it's easy to buy, easy to sell. Generally, jewelers are our friends और हम जाके उनसे ले लेते हैं. Not to say easily available in cash. All other investment you have to pay with white money. You can buy gold with black money, but generally in finance management, we don't discuss black money. So physical gold is not a good choice to buy because we have to pay making charges. Security cost is high. If you keep it in locker, there is always a theft. चोरी हो सकता है and emotional attachment. So what should we do? We should go for paper gold. What are the different ways to invest in paper gold? There is one is gold base, gold mutual fund, sovereign gold bond, and gold futures. Gold futures is not advisable on this platform. So we will discuss gold base and sovereign gold bond. So what is gold base? These are traded ETF, extended traded funds, open-ended, and they are traded as share. Like share, you can buy it, sell it, intraday, whatever. And 1 unit of 1 gold P is equal to 0.01 gram of gold, which cost very less. I think it cost around 53-55 rupees. So you can invest minimum amount of 50-100 rupees also. It is traded on NSE and BSE both. For that, you need to have a demat account. The advantage of gold base is that it's very easy to buy if you have a demat account. There is no lock-in period. You can buy and keep it for years together, or you can sell next year also. It's a very transparent procedure. The gold base is considered as 9.9% purity physical gold. There is no limits of investment. You can invest any amount in gold base. And the best part of it is you can keep it as a collateral for any loan or even for trading. Disadvantage is that there is a capital gain tax if you sell on it. There is brokerage charge and the price fluctuate with gold. Gold गिरा तो आपके gold भी इसका rate भी गिरेगा. So the best part, best thing to invest as a gold is sovereign gold bond. So what is sovereign gold bond? It is issued by RBI in tranches every 2-3 months and guaranteed by Government of India. So everyone can invest in it. You can get it in 1 gram denominations. The rate of sovereign gold bond is decided by average of last 3 days, average rate of gold. It is decided. And it is sold by all nationalized and some private banks. It is available on Demat account also. So the best thing about sovereign gold bond is it appreciates as the rates of gold appreciate. Generally, gold gives an average of 7 to 10% per annum return. So your gold price will increase. Plus, along with gold appreciation, it will give you 2.5% per annum interest. So your profit will be added by 2.5%. Along with the appreciation. Suppose gold is, you consider that gold will appreciate at the rate of 7%, SGB will appreciate at the rate of 9.5%. It is easily tradable in Demat format. Its profit is tax-free, but interest is taxable. Minimum 1 gram gold can be bought. Individual, HUF, trust, company, everyone can buy sovereign gold bond. You can use it as a cash collateral for trading purpose and for loans also. There is no GST on it. What are the disadvantages? There is a 8 years lock-in period. You cannot sell, you can sell it after 5 years, but the lock-in period is 8 years. After 8 years, the government of India or RBI will automatically give you the appreciated amount. Interest will be deposited in your account every year, every 6 monthly. But interest is taxable. It is released in tranches from primary market. So you cannot buy it anytime. I will just add, this is the time they have released sovereign gold from 12th to 16th February. So those who are interested can buy it today or tomorrow till 5 p.m. There is limit to buy maximum quantity. Retail investors and HUF can buy maximum 4 kgs of sovereign gold bond, and trust and companies can buy 20 kgs of sovereign gold bond. The price vary as average of last 3 days, and there is 1% commission taken by the broker or banks. So this is all I wanted to tell. Thank you all.
That wonderful lecture. Madam has covered the debt part. Now we have the second most talked about thing, that is the mutual funds. Mutual funds sahi hai. Everybody sees on TV. But does sahi hai mean mutual fund safe hai? Or is it just a jumla? If you've seen anytime closely, mutual fund sahi hai is the tagline. So what is the reality of that? We go over to the next speaker to know about mutual funds. I invite Dr. Prashant Pacharya sir. He is apart from being an anesthetist, he has the experience of 15 years in equity markets and the financial world. He is currently proprietor of Invicto Financial Education and Services, which has trained hundreds of doctors and their family members and friends in the analysis of price action and futures and options data, etc. He's a full-time stock market and NISM certified equity derivative trader and mentor in equity market analysis. And he loves to teach about finances. So I welcome Dr. Prashant Patkure sir from Aurangabad, that is Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, to take over.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank ISA Borivali branch for giving me this opportunity to interact with our colleagues. Right. This feels wonderful that we are maximum of the attendee are from same faculty. So we know what are the problems and what are the good things and what are the issues in our branch as such. So we can give a better solutions. So today I will be talking about mutual funds. So I'm sure almost 90 to 95% people must have heard about mutual funds. So today we will be trying to decode the mutual funds. And I would like to emphasize one more thing, that I'm sure that no one here is attending to get a certificate or PhD degree in mutual funds, right? Because if you want to learn all the mutual funds, it will take whole 2 days time, right? So I'll be focusing more of that. When you go or when you log out from this webinar, you should be taking home something which will be very useful for you and you can implement or start implementing from tomorrow itself. And those who are eager can start implementing from tonight itself. So, first of all, disclaimer, I'm not certified mutual fund advisor. We need to do our own research before investing. And as we hear everywhere, mutual funds investments are subject to the market risk, right? We know the speed which they tell, but it's the real risk which can be mitigated. So what are mutual funds in short? So mutual funds are nothing but we, all the people, all the investors, what we do, someone starts with 10,000, someone 50,000, someone 1 lakh, right? Depending on 1 CR or whatever is individual capacity. They pool money. What do we mean by pool money? That means they give money to the mutual fund company. What that company does, the company appoints the fund managers, the experts who have learned the finances, who have degrees in the financial world, who have done all the study about it. They are appointed as fund managers, and what they do, they invest in the securities. What is securities? Securities is nothing but stocks, or in simple terms, shares of the companies which we see around us, right? What happens when they invest in these companies? If these companies perform well, they generate profits, they will their price will appreciate and we will get the return on the investment. So the mutual fund company gets the return on the whole kitty of the investment. What they do, they pass it back to us after deducting charges of that mutual fund company. So this is how, in simplest form, mutual funds are. So there are various types of mutual funds, right? As I told that as many as 39 to 40 types of mutual funds are there, but we are not going to go in those very details because in practical world, we don't need those things. Okay, so depending on the schemes, mutual funds can be open-ended, close-ended, or interval funds. So what is meaning of open-ended? Open-ended means I want to invest today, I can. I want to withdraw within 1 week, I can. So there is no obligation or no lock-in period. While close-ended is, once you invest, they open at specific time, and once you invest, there are lock-in periods like 3 years, 5 years, depending on different mutual funds have different lock-in periods. So you cannot withdraw from the closed mutual funds. And interval funds they are combination of both open as well as closed, and these are not to be looked or discussed at all because these are very illiquid, right? So we won't be going into those details. Then next is assets in which the money is invested by the funds. Depending on that, they can be debt funds, equity funds, liquid funds, and hybrid funds. So hybrid funds are also, prior they used to be called as balanced funds. Okay, so what are debt funds? Debt funds are nothing but they invest our money in safe safe avenues like government bonds, treasury bills, right? So these are money market instruments. So these are safer considered, but similarly, as Dr. Anshul has already told, when you see for much safety, your returns will be also lesser accordingly, right? So we need to find a balance between the safety and returns. So risk to reward ratio should be assessed. Then liquid fund category, these also invest pure in the money markets like treasury bonds, etc. And hybrid funds are mix of debt and equity. And what are equity funds? Equity funds are nothing but they invest in stocks or shares, right? So this is classification based on the asset invested. Then there are certain special funds like index funds, exchange traded funds, thematic funds, tax saving funds, international funds, retirement, children funds. So what are international funds? Funds which invest in international companies. Index funds, like we have funds which track indices like Nifty or sectoral indices, right? So, and they invest into that. Exchange traded funds, they are also mostly traded in the exchange, not mostly, they are traded in the exchange, freely available, and those also can be used for our investment. So these are various and thematic like themes like infrastructure funds, banking funds, IT funds, right? So depending on the view, if you have any particular sector which you think that is like, if you see in last 6 months, we have seen the railway stocks and all PSU means government stocks were running. So if you have such sectoral fund, you can invest your money if your view is growth oriented in that sector, particular sector. Then depending on the management of fund, that whether that fund is actively managed or passively managed. So actively managed funds are mostly equity funds and passively managed funds are like ETFs. They are just passive following the indices. Then investment objective based. So growth funds, value funds, and income funds. These are various investment objective based types of mutual funds. So what are growth funds? Growth funds are the investment is done by the fund manager in such way that they are looking the companies which are likely to grow ahead, right? Those are growth oriented. Value funds means these fund managers look for the companies which have value in them and whose price currently is less than fair value. So when the valuation is unlocked, then those stocks jump and the return of those mutual funds increases. And income funds are like you look for certain particular incomes at certain specific periods. So these are various types of mutual funds. Then the type which SEBI has recently launched, we can say, or divided that flexi cap funds, multi cap funds, and large cap and mid cap funds. Even we have small cap funds, right? So depending on the market capitalization of the shares and the mutual funds, these companies have to follow the rule. So flexi cap fund, mutual funds have, the fund managers have flexibility to invest wherever they want, whether he wants to invest in large cap, mid cap, or small cap, right? So there is no rule for that. If we look at multi-cap mutual funds, then there is rule that they need to invest 25% of the amount in large cap, 25% of the amount in mid cap, and 25% amount in the small cap, and remaining 25%, the fund manager has flexibility. He can invest in large, mid, or small cap, or can divide 10, and 5, whatever he wants for remaining 25%. So he has flexibility of 25%. While large cap and mid cap mutual funds, large caps should have 35% of amount invested, 35% should go in the mid cap, and there is flexibility of remaining 30%, right? So depending on the powers given to the fund manager, these are the various classifications of the mutual funds. So what are the benefits of investing in the mutual fund? Right. So first is flexible investment tenure. As I said, I can invest today and I can remove after 15 days, or I can invest today and I can keep it till my retirement. Right. So there is no fixed rule that like PPF matures at 15 years, nothing like that. Or there is lock-in period of HDB for 8 years, nothing like that. There is no lock-in if you invest in open-ended funds. Then convenient and hassle-free. So what is convenience? Convenience is we have to just click few buttons on our keyboard or mouse on the website, whichever we choose, and the investment is done. You would need money? Well, go again and click 2-3 times certain buttons of redeeming. The money will be deposited within 3 days in your account. So the best thing about mutual funds is liquidity. Right. So like real estate was the favorite thing, but the problem with real estate is liquidity. You don't have liquidity in real estate. If you want money, if you go to sell your real estate flat or plot or whatever, you won't get the buyer for that at right time, at right price. If you get the buyer, he will ask that you give me at certain discounted price. Such things are not applicable in mutual fund. Whatever is the value, NAV, on that day on which you press that button of redeem, you get that valuation. So there is no bargaining of our return, and no one is going to take back a single penny from our return. Minimal paperwork, as I said, it's completely online these days. Then SIP, that is systematic investment planning. That means we can decide whether I want to invest monthly certain amount or I want to invest weekly certain amount. Some mutual funds even have daily investment options, daily SIP, right? So we can invest as per our wish and the money which we get, right? So those who get monthly salary, they should look for monthly investment. Those who are freelancers, they can even go for weekly SIPs. No harm in that, right? Because your money will be accumulating in that mutual funds and returns will be generated. They manage the inflation, or in better word, they beat the inflation, right? Then they have taxation benefit, right? So the tax saving mutual funds have taxation benefit. Those are called as ELSS, equity linked saving schemes. ELSS, it falls under that tax saving mutual funds, where you have 3 years lock-in. So for tax saving, the lock-in is 3 years, right? Plus, there are certain funds like debt funds, where if you keep it for more than 3 years, and if someone is in 30% bracket, then he will get the benefit and he will have to pay only 20%, as that's the fixed maximum tax on that returns. Then safe and transparent. As I said, you can open on the any day at even at night time, you can ask for the statement and it will be sent to your email. You will know what's the exact status. That is not true in any other, most of the other, or like real estate, you don't know कि किसी ने कब्जा कर लिया, क्या कर लिया. So that is not the risk here involved, right? So these are the benefits, and everyone should invest in mutual funds. So coming to the ETFs, so these are passive funds. So what these people do, the fund managers are mostly not the expert people. They are just the followers. So suppose we look for Nifty index fund or ETF, then what they will do, they will check the 50 companies in the Nifty, and accordingly they will be doing the investment. So they just follow that fund, Nifty next 50. Right. So there are various indices and various multiple ETFs which we can go and invest. They give you return equivalent to the index, right? Then we can track the performance of index and, they track the performance of index and invest accordingly. And these are traded on the exchange like stock. That means ETF you need to buy, then you need to have Demat account. But for investing in mutual funds, you need not have Demat account. You can directly invest without having a Demat account. You need only will to invest in it, right? So how do we select the mutual fund, that which mutual fund should I choose? So first thing is know thyself or know yourself. That means we should know. Like, chalo ye webinar attend kar liya, so let's invest. That's a good thing, but there should be certain goals fixed for the investment, right? So those goals should be pre-decided, and depending on what's the time available for me for investment, whether I'm investing for ultra short time, medium term, long term, right? So once that is decided, then we need to find what type of mutual fund I need to invest in. So depending on investment goal, ultra short term, medium and long term. Then AUM, that is asset under management. So how much money that particular mutual fund is managing, we need to know that, right? If someone is managing 100 crore rupees, it's not a big deal for a mutual fund, right? So we need at least 1,500 crores assets under management. So that's a big company, and we will get good returns along with safety. Next is we should check the return on investment, ROI, right? So what is ROI? So how we should check? So we should check yearly 1 year return, what these mutual funds have given, then 3 year, then 5 year, then 10 year, right? That is, older the fund is better. So the criteria for investing in mutual fund, first criteria is it should be older than 10 years, right? So if in 2024 you are investing, you should invest in mutual funds which are there from 2014 or prior, not any mutual fund after that. So usually the investment advisors will come to you and they will say you 10 रुपए के NAV पे मिल रहा है आपको, starting point है, अच्छा है, invest कर लो. But that's a new fund offer. That's when company launches. So we don't know. So simply we should not go blindly and invest in NFO. See the experience of the fund, see the past returns. Like, for example, if I need to get treated or get operated, I'll definitely look for a surgeon or whatever my operative is needed for me who has experience of 10 plus years, right? Or we will go just who has passed out his MS. Will I go and operate from him? No, I will definitely do my research, right? So avoid investing in NFOs. There is no need to invest. You will definitely get with same view certain funds which are more than 10 years old. Then we should look for expense ratios. Minimum the expense ratio, better the mutual fund. So these are the few things which we need to learn. So I'll just show you. You can see it anywhere. I personally use Money Control, right? So when you go on moneycontrol.com here, under the mutual funds, you can click here on here, mutual funds, find the fund, and you will get all the funds, historic returns, investment returns, monthly, quarterly, annual, everything from 1 week to 10 years return. So if you click here on this, it will show you it by returns, 29%, 50%. So avoid these sponsored ads. These are advertisements. So avoid these. And so 29, 27, 26%, 10 years. 5 years, if I invest, then 39, 34, 33. Likewise, you can do the filtering. You can, if you want only tax saving, you can type ELSS and enter. It will show you all the tax saving. You can filter. If you want, so whatever you need, you just type that in the search button and you will get shortlisted only those mutual funds. So there are variety of options available. So in this way, we should shortlist the mutual funds. Now, there comes a question that all the mutual funds have two funds. That is, one is regular mutual fund and other is direct mutual fund. So should I go direct or should I invest in regular mutual fund? This is the most important thing while investing in the mutual fund, which we should know what to do. So direct mutual fund, what are they? SEBI made mutual fund houses mandatory to launch direct plan for investment in their existing regular mutual fund from 2013 Jan. To be precise, 8th Jan of 2013. It has a separate NAV. We can invest lump sum as well as SIP we can do in those funds. So what is difference between direct mutual fund and regular mutual fund? So direct mutual fund is investor to AMC. That means asset managing company. That means mutual funds directly, no broker or no middleman. While here we have a middleman distributor to whom the AMC will pay from the whatever expenses they show us before giving us the return. They will be paying the commission to the investment advisors, distributors, whoever they are. So what are advantages of direct mutual fund? First and foremost, most important thing is there is no commission and no hidden fees, right? So the expense ratio, we need to know the expense ratio. So expense ratio is very big difference. So you might see here, like for example, this is I guess 1 or 2 years back slide. So Axis long-term equity fund, direct fund had expense ratio of 0.95 and regular had 1.88. So you might say it's around only 1% difference in the expense ratio. Why we should worry? 1.2 to 2.2, 1.2, 2.6, right? So difference is around 1%. So we will be seeing going ahead that why we should be worried for this 1%. So the most common argument whenever we you will call your agent and you will tell that I want to stop investing and I am going with direct mutual funds. Then they will argue the following points with you in favor of regular mutual funds. So what are their argument? First is, sir, you need to be tech savvy. तुमच्याकडे वेळ कुठे आहे? Do you have time to do all these things? Right? But aren't we tech savvy? Is here anyone who is not using WhatsApp, Telegram, Twitter, Amazon, right? Instagram, Flipkart, Myntra, we all are using. So the things or the tech savviness which is needed to use all this, itna bhi nahi lagega to invest yourself in the mutual funds. Second thing is investment advice, that we will give you investment advice that where we should invest. Why do we need their advice? If you can study yourself, I have shown you what points to look for. You have to look for the how old is the fund, what are the returns, everything is available on the internet. You can decide yourselves, and mutual fund experts are there, the managers are there who are going to decide where to invest. So we do not need any middleman to tell us that where we should invest our money. Third, they will tell operational difficulties that you will not be able to start the SIP, or you will not be able to track. We will give you the statement every month or every quarter, and I will give you the statement, I will send you, or he will come and give you a physical copy. Do we really need it? As I told prior only, that at any point of time in 24 hours, if you ask for the statement, you will get it within 5 minutes on your email. It's so much easy these days. So to start investment, these are the various options available. Directly you can go to the AMC websites and invest them. Then there is MF Utilities, so Association of Mutual Funds has formed this. Then there is MyCams, a mobile app through which you can invest in the direct funds. Then Zerodha coin is an option where Zerodha has Demat account facility as well, so you can invest through them. Paytm, I would say avoid now. Then Kuvera, Grow, and ET Money. So there are many options through which you can invest in direct mutual funds. But why am I stressing so much on that? So you can see how much money of investors is siphoned by backdoor from the mutual fund. So this is just for 1 year, financial year 2017, mutual funds paid 4,986 crore as commissions and expenses to 687 top distributors. So these are the distributors to which the commission is paid. So NJ Investment, you can see single year they have got 44,267 lakh rupees as commission from all the SIPs and investments which they are done through them. So what is happening here? We are not against they getting the money, but this much money, if would have been invested in the name of those investors, their returns would have made huge difference, right? So first thing if anyone is investing through the regular fund, first thing you need to do is stop SIP in regular fund with immediate effect. Choose the direct mutual fund. You can choose same mutual fund, doesn't matter, but go for the direct option. Start SIP in direct plan. Redeem regular plans after exit load period is over. That means if your regular plan is running, so wait for the 1 year period to get over, so you won't get the exit load or whatever exit load for that particular mutual fund, and invest that amount in direct mutual funds. So itna sab kyun karna hai? For 1% of expense ratio. So I'll just show some illustrations. So these are the direct returns. So from 2013 8th Jan till yesterday, this is the ICICI Prudential Balanced Advantage Fund. So there is no direct word here. So this is the regular one, 260% return given from 2013 by this. Returns are good? Yes, absolutely they are good. But if I would have invested in their direct fund, you can see here direct plan. The returns are 299%. So 299 and 260, whatever. So almost 35 to 39% less returns you are getting just for being lazy to start on your own, right? So if you see further, so this is not only one time investment. Let's say if someone invested 50,000 in their regular fund for same period, then total investment is 67 lakh and today's valuation would have been 1.35 CR of that 67 lakh in the regular fund. But if we would have invested same in the direct plan, same amount 67 lakh, the valuation would have been 1.43. So 1.34, so around 10 lakh in 10 years. So if the value of your that one day deciding and starting the SIP, just giving order only once to invest 50,000 monthly is more than 10 lakh, then you should go for investment advisors and invest through them. But if you are earning less than 10 lakh per day, then you should definitely go for a direct fund, invest one day in starting your SIPs, planning your SIPs. On a holiday, you can do it, Saturday or Sunday, you can do this, right? So let's assume we do SIP of 10,000 for 35 years in various funds. So I have taken Reliance large cap, SBI blue chip, HDFC, L&T mid cap, HDFC small cap, likewise variety. Consider rate of return very safe, 10%, 8%. These are the actual returns 1 or 2 years back, right? So the amount with that rate of return would have been 2.3 CR, 1.5 CR, 2.4, 4.2. So total corpus would have been 15 CR in 30 years, right? So these mutual funds are so in 30 years at this rate of return, the corpus would have been 15 CR. Is it good amount? Yes, definitely it's a good amount, and this would take care of retirement. So if someone has 30 years still for the retirement, he should definitely look forward for investing 50,000 per month, right? Around. So Anshul sir ne jo bola hai 10.4 or 5 CR you need for the retirement, that will be taken care by mutual fund and you need not go for any pension schemes, right? But if we continue same in the direct fund, the returns would have been 19 CR. So a whooping difference of 4.2 CR between investing in direct versus regular fund in the SIP format, right? So I guess this is the compelling reason that we all should be looking for this. So which funds we need to invest? To sum it up, if our view is ultra short term, that I am going to need that money in next 10 days, 15 days, invest in liquid funds, the safer avenues, which will give you around 6 to 6.5% return. If your view is short term, that you need money in 3 to 6 months, go with short term debt funds. If your view is medium term, that you need for 1 or 2 years, likewise, then go for the balanced funds or hybrid funds, which invest in combination of equity as well as debt. And if your view is long term, then you should definitely invest in equity mutual fund, diversified. So like we said, mutual fund is related, investments are risk related, right? They have risk in that, but don't we have take the risk in our day-to-day practice? We do take, right? So when you have risk, what we need to do? We need to diversify. So choose 5 to 6 different funds. From each category, you choose 2 funds. So maybe 5, 6, up to 8 funds, you can look and diversify your investment. So that will reduce your overall risk, right? And if your view is tax saving, then you should definitely invest in ELSS, and that will give you a whooping return, which will beat the inflation. So 0% commission, which will fetch you large returns. So that's all I would like to, that you all should invest in mutual fund, preferably in direct mutual fund, and find your funds on your own. I have shown you. If you need any help related to that, you can contact me, and it will be definitely, I will try to help whatever possible to choose, or if any method you need to know, I'll definitely be able to help you. So thank you. That's all from my side.
Great, actually. That has covered the biggest topic, that was mutual fund.
Very well presented. Very well presented.
Very well presented, sir. And now the part that we've been waiting for. All people think share market में direct डालना पैसा तो बहुत जल्दी बढ़ता है. Like Anshul sir had said, it's a myth, but still people believe in myths, like people believe in mermaids. So I request our next speaker, Jindal sir, Dr. Neeraj Jindal, who's a very senior anesthesiologist, has got his own experience of many years of investing. He has got a very healthy portfolio, keeps on giving advice to each and every anesthetist if they come across him. I invite Jindal sir to please shed some light on equity. Sir.
Good evening, everybody. I wanted to share my slide. This has to be first. Yeah. Start from. So good evening, everybody. Today we had a very fantastic presentation from Anshul sir, Dakshay madam, and Dr. Prashant sir. Now we will be covering equity investment directly. So equity investment basically means, first I'll come to a disclaimer. The information presented in this PowerPoint presentation is for educational purpose only. I'm not a SEBI registered analyst. Neither the investment in stock market involves inherent risks, including the potential loss of principals. So before making any investment decisions, it's advisable to carefully consider one's financial situation, investment objectives, risk tolerance, and consult a qualified financial advisor. The views and opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the presenter, not necessarily reflect the views of any organization or institution for which they may be affiliated. Personal disclosure, I am not associated with any financial organization, and I won't be giving any advice today on which stock to buy or not to buy, or when to sell, or which stock to sell or which stock to buy. So what's stock market? There are many terminologies associated with stock market, like, like stocks or shares, what we call as. Stocks or shares represent the ownership in a company. So when we buy a share of a company's stock, we become a partial owner of that company. Though in whatever amount of, like the number of shares which we buy. Stock exchanges. Now, stock exchanges, these are the various terminologies which we frequently use in stock market. Stock exchanges are physical or electronic marketplaces where stocks are bought and sold. Like in India, we have NSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, and Multi-Commodity Exchange, what's known as MCX, where only commodities are traded. There are other smaller index stock exchanges also, but we mainly trade in NSE and BSE for the routine stocks. Now, what are listed companies? Listed companies are companies whose shares are traded on a stock exchange. They must adhere to regulatory requirements and financial reporting standards. They have to adhere to all the guidelines of SEBI, which is the controlling authority. Now, investors, individuals or entities who buy and sell stocks are investors. This may include individual investors like us, retail investors, or institutional investors such as mutual funds, pension funds, hedge funds, or algo traders also nowadays deal a lot in stock markets. Stock prices. The price of a stock is determined basically by the demand and supply in the market. A particular price of a particular stock, there are many factors affecting it. Like it's affected by individual retailers, what they feel, the hedge funds, the mutual funds, the FIIs, big HNA investors. Some might feel it's a buy, some might feel it's a sell. Some sell, some buy, others sell. And whatever the price which comes on the screen is the fair value of that company. Market indices. Market indices such as Nifty, Bank Nifty, and Financial Nifty, Sensex. This track the performance of a specific group of companies and provide a benchmark for overall market performance. Now, trading. Trading of a stock occurs during specific trading hours. Like in India, we have it from 9:15 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And this is set by the stock exchange. Buyers and sellers can place their orders and buy and sell their shares during this time through electronic trading platforms. Who are the market participants? Apart from investors, there are other participants in the stock markets, which include stockbrokers, market makers who provide liquidity, the regulatory bodies like SEBI we have in India. What are dividends? Dividends are the money which the company pays to its shareholders out of its profits. Dividends are typically paid quarterly and represent a return of investment for shareholders. Why should one invest in stock market? Like we have heard, why should we invest in, mutual funds, other debt bonds, liquid bonds? Why stock market? First and foremost is wealth accumulation. Historically, stocks have provided high returns compared to any other asset classes over the long terms. Investing in stocks can help individuals grow their wealth and achieve their financial goals, such as retirement savings, buying a home, funding education for their children, etc., etc. Second advantage of stock market ownership in profitable companies. When we buy a stock of a particular company, we become a stockholder of that company. So as a shareholder, we have the opportunity to benefit from the company's profitability through capital appreciation, like increase in stock price and dividends. It's just like you buy like Nifty 50 company, let's say Reliance or Adani, and it's like you have bought the shares of that company and you sleep, like Anshul sir said, like money work for you. So you sleep and there you will see that Ambani and Adani are working to increase your purpose and to make you wealthy. Other advantage of stock market is diversification. The stocks offer diversification, especially when combined with other asset class like bonds, real estate, and commodities. Diversifying through different sectors, industries, and regions can help reduce portfolio risk by spreading exposure to different economic factors. Liquidity. Like we talked about liquidity in mutual funds. Dr. Prashant said, elaborated very nicely. Even Daksha. So liquid stocks are highly liquid assets. meaning they can be easily bought or sold on stock exchanges during our routine 9:15 to 3:30 p.m. This liquidity provides investors with this, this liquidity provides us with flexibility to adjust our investment portfolios according to the changing market conditions or personal circumstances. Inflation hedge. Now, stocks have historically acted as a hedge against inflation. As companies generate revenue and profits, they can adjust prices to keep pace with inflation, thereby preserving the real value of investors' portfolio over time. Accessibility. Investing in stock market is accessible to everyone, from individuals with very small amount of money to large institutional investors with crores and crores of rupees. And with the advent of now online broking platforms and investment apps, investing in stock market has become very convenient and affordable to each and everyone. Long-term growth potential. While stock prices can be volatile in the short run, they tend to trend upwards over the long term, driven by economic growth, innovation, and productive gains. Investing with a long-term perspective allows us to harness this growth potential. Tax advantages. Whatever tax slab we are in, like if we are in 30% tax slab, but the investing in stocks offer us much better tax advantages. For example, if you sell a stock within a year, anytime, like intraday, not sorry, intraday, but as local based though, or after 2 months or after 6 months, we have to pay a tax of just 15%, irrespective of the tax slab. And we sell it after 1 year, it's just only 10%. So it offers a great advantage over the or tax advantage over our regular income, on our regular income. What is the best age to start investing? Like everyone has said, the earlier we start, the better it is. But you know, the power of compounding. Sir said very nicely, Anshu sir said very nicely, the power of compounding is shown the graphs also. The earlier we start, it can be advantageous due to this power of compounding. The more time we invest, the more time we have to grow. Even small contributions made regularly over decades can potentially grow into substantial sums due to this compounding factor. Stable income and financial foundation. It's generally advisable to start investing once we have a stable income and we have built a solid financial foundation. Foundation. This includes, like, our foundation should include emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses, paying off higher interest debts, and ensuring that we have enough coverage, whether it is indemnity or mediclaim and all this fire, everything, all this insurance coverage we have. After that, what income is remaining, it's better to start investing. So, time horizon. Now, when we start investing, we should have a definite time horizon. That is the length of time we plan to hold our investment before needing to access the funds. Because if the financial goals are long-term, such as retirement savings, we may have a longer time horizon and we can afford to take more risk in stock markets. Stock markets can be very volatile in the short term and they can be irrationally low for an irrational period of time also. So what I think is minimum 4 years of time horizon we should have to invest in stock markets. This is my personal view. Risk tolerance. Now, assess your risk tolerance, which is your willingness and ability to withstand fluctuations in the value of your investments. As I said, stocks can be volatile in the short run, and younger individuals usually have a longer time horizon and may be more willing to take on higher level of risks. Financial goals I've already discussed. Like, our financial goals will define our investment strategy, whether we are investing for retirement or for buying a home or for children's education or any other goal. We have to tailor our investment approach accordingly. Education and research. Now, this is the most important aspect of stock market. Education and research. Like we were taught in schools, health is wealth. Here in stock market, knowledge is wealth. The more knowledgeable you are, the more you keep yourself updated with the stock market's conditions. the better financial returns you will get. So before investing in stock market, one should thoroughly invest in gaining knowledge. And not only knowledge about the future prospects of a stock, but even knowledge about asset allocation, diversification, and the risk and rewards of investing. This knowledge, fortunately, we all are very lucky that there are a lot of sources to get knowledge these days. There are many, YouTubes, yeah, there are many classes which teach us, but we'll come to it later on. What are the basic requirements for a beginner? Again, this knowledge will come. Education. First is education, like I said. Start educating yourself the basic of investing and the stock market. There are many resources available, like I said, books, online courses, articles, investment websites, YouTubes, and in fact, every stockbroker has got his own app, and they have got their own, investing education websites also. Financial goals, like I said, we have to define our financial goals and investment objectives before we start entering into the market. But whether our goals is for investment is for retirement or saving for a home or any other goal. Risk tolerance. We have already covered, I think, risk tolerance. Now, budget and saving. Budget and savings. Establish a budget and ensure you have sufficient savings to cover your emergency expenses and your day-to-day expenses, as well as the insurance policies and other routine insurance agent, what policies you might have taken. Look for a brokerage that offers low fees, user-friendly trading platforms, research tools. Like I said, most of the brokerage houses have their own research tools these days, educational resources, and excellent customer service. Like, it should not happen that your brokerage app, the app with which you are investing, breaks down when market suddenly falls. You should have a good, renowned broking app. And fortunately for us, many brokerages are now offering commission-free trading, which can be very beneficial, especially for the beginners. Research and analysis. Same like education, I said, we have to, before going through any investment decisions, we have to do a thorough research and analysis of potential investments. We'll come back to it later on again. Start small and diversify. It's for beginners. Once we think of, okay, we have to enter into stock market. Now, stock market is a very, competitive field where everybody is there to take your money. Everybody is there to earn money. Nobody is there to lose money. And we beginners, we start with a very small amount, but there are people and institutions with crores and crores of rupees with the best technology and, with the best indicators, and they know how to make money. So we have to educate ourselves and we have to invest so that we can earn money, even though they are very competitive. Stay informed. Now, we have to stay informed about market conditions, economic news, companies updates that may impact your investments. Follow reputed financial news sources, subscribe to investment newsletters, stay connected with industry trends and market commentary. Monitor and review. Now, this is a very important part. Like, we have to regularly monitor our investment portfolio and review our investment strategy to ensure it remains aligned with your financial goals, risk tolerance, and market conditions. Rebalancing of portfolio periodically to maintain our desired asset allocation is very important. Now, for long-term views, one need not assess, monitor daily. In fact, in any case, one day's chart should never be taken as to decide whether a company has to be bought or sold. How much to invest? It's like according to our financial situation, start small and gradually increase. Once we start investing with a small amount, we are comfortable with, and we can afford to lose. Let's say any incentive starts with 50,000, 1 lakh or 2 lakh. So, and of course, the company doesn't become zero. That's for sure. So gradually we'll start investing. We will invest in shares, 5 companies. Slowly we'll get more experience. We'll get more confident. We'll understand the nature of the stock markets, the psychological behavior of the stock markets, and our own psychological behavior. The psychology plays a very important role in investing. So it's always advisable to start small and gradually increase. As you start making profit, you slowly start increasing your investments. Consider SIP. Now, SIP in stock market is a very good strategy where we invest a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of the market conditions. But this SIP has to be done only in blue chip companies or your thoroughly researched companies which are rising. Never do SIP in a company which is falling. Many people, they know, like what they call it as averaging. Personally, I never average a stock. I always buy further of the same company when it rises. I never average a stock if it is falling. For falling, there is a stop loss, strict stop loss. Stop loss is very compulsory if you want to invest in stock market, regardless of anybody or anyone who says goes against it. The only other option besides stop loss is, like hedging your portfolio with buying puts, which is not recommended for newcomers. So the best option is if you buy a stock and if it starts falling, better to have a stop loss. The moment you enter a stock, it's very important you should have a stop loss and a target. But target can be increased. Suppose you buy a stock for 100 rupees, it becomes 110 rupees in a month, 120 rupees in a month. So initially your stop loss was, let's say, 85. So when it becomes 120, you can keep your stop loss at 105 and slowly trail your stop loss. Slowly. As the rates goes up, you trail your stop loss. So in whatever conditions, you'll not lose money. The basic principle of share market is you should not lose money, protect your money. Very important, protection of money is the most important thing in stock market. So because there'll be thousands of companies to invest for another hundreds of years or for our lifetime. But once we lose money, we have lost money, we have lost confidence, and we have lost interest also. So stock money, our protection of our money is the most important thing. And that can only come if we keep a stop loss. And stop loss also, as the price rises, your stop loss should also rise. Seek professional advice. See, even Virat Kohli needs a coach. So why should we not need a coach? Why should we not seek a professional advice in stock market? It's always better to have a professional advice or advice of your friend who is very good in stock markets whenever you enter into a particular company. There's no harm in it. There's no, like ego. Because in the stock market, there's nobody who has never had a stop loss or whose stock has not fallen. Everybody's stocks fall. It's all risk to reward ratio. Like if you buy 10 stocks, if 2 of your stocks fall, you keep a stop loss, you come out. But 8 of your stocks, they will rise and they will give you a handsome return. Much, much more, which will depend upon your knowledge and your greed, fear, and expectations, which play a very important psychological role. So always consult your professional advisor or a friend who is good in stock markets, who can guide you in a personalized way on your individual financial situations or goals and risk tolerance. Now, basic knowledge required for stock market. Understanding the stock market. Familiarize yourself with how the stock market functions, including the role of stock exchanges, brokers, and different types of orders. There are different types of orders, like where you can, you can put, if the stock is trading at 100 rupees, you can put, I want to buy if it comes at 95 rupees or 92 rupees. And believe me, sometimes market gives a dip and you get it at very cheap rate. Or you want to sell it at 120 rupees. And Suddenly there is a spike occurs, you get sold and it comes down again. So we have to understand the stock market first, then the knowledge of stock market indices, learn about the major indices like Nifty 50, Bank Nifty, and how these indices are calculated. For that, I think Anshul sir has said Nifty Bs, uh, Laksha madam had said about gold Bs. All these are index-based funds. Now, technical stock valuation methods. This comes under the fundamental analysis of the what is the true value of the stock. This includes assessing financial statements, analyzing key financial ratios of the company, and understanding the company's competitive position within the industry. Every company in every quarter end, like after the quarter end, like December got over, now the companies are giving their result. After every quarter, every company has to give their results, like how much profit they have made or how much loss they have made, and what is the vision. Usually, good companies, the promoters give their con call or what they call their opinion on how much they have achieved about their previous opinions and what are their future vision and future opinion. How are they planning to expand, or are they planning to go overseas, or are they planning to diversify? So, through going through these con calls, and this is very important. Technical analysis. We'll come more into a technical analysis a little later on. In fact, both fundamental and technical analysis in the next few slides. Risk management, as I said, it's very important, such as stop loss orders and diversifying your portfolio. Diversified portfolio gives you a very good risk management, because sometimes, many stocks are cyclical. Sometimes the sugar stocks will run, sometimes the steel stocks will run, sometimes the oil-based companies will run. So a diversified portfolio gives you a very good is a proper hedge against your, proper hedge for your portfolio, and helps you to manage positions based on your risk tolerance. Market order types. Familiarize yourself with different types of orders put in trading, including market orders, limit orders. There are also limit orders, stop orders, or trailing stop orders. For this, each app has its own way of putting this. So we have to consult your stockbroker, or you have to study your app in more detail through whom you are trading in the stock market. Market psychology. Recognize the role of importance and market sentiments in trading. Learn about common behavioral biases that can impact decision making, such as fear, greed, and herd mentality. Now, herd mentality plays a very important role in stock market. You open your WhatsApp and somebody says buy this company, somebody says sell this company, and it's full. One person will say buy, one person will sell, and you are getting confused. So here, our own analysis of the company, the fundamental and technical analysis of the company, plays a very important role in which we can decide whether to buy or not to buy. And many people, you'll see they use some extraordinary targets. Like I think somebody said, 3 महीने में पैसा double हो जाएगा. Never go for those types of, recommendations. Market data and research tools. Explore the various sources of market data and research tools available to traders, including financial news websites, stock screeners, charting platforms, and fundamental analysis software. We are very lucky. There are now many free websites which tell all this, which tell you the free screener site is there. I think charting.com. Screener is there, which tells you very good, in good detail about the fundamentals of the company. Money Control, it tells both fundamental and technical analysis of the company. Money Control is a very good Then there are many other free sites for each and every this. Like for charting, you have investing.com, TradingView. These are all free sites and very good websites which you have, and which help us in uh, researching a particular stock. Or trading strategies. There are different trading strategies depending upon different, uh, your teacher. It all depends upon whom you are following. And believe me, one trading strategy doesn't benefit everybody. For everyone, there's a particular trading strategy which benefits him. For others, it doesn't benefit. Like my own stockbroker, my personal experience, when he recommends a stock and I buy it, I usually don't benefit much from it. But when I buy on my own technical analysis, I make good profit. But when he recommends the same stocks to different people, others like my very good friends, they make a lot of money from it. So I don't know why. Even I have, like blindly put money and said, okay, 1 year I won't say you anything, but 1 year may remain the same. So the trading strategies differ from person to person. You have to trade few strategies and then decide which strategy suits you best. Now, regulatory compliance. We have to be very careful about regulatory requirements and obligations associated with trading, including insider trading regulations, margin trading rules, and tax implications. Sorry.
Got. Next.
Okay, now let's come to stock analysis. So how do we analyze a stock? Stock analysis basically falls into two important criteria: fundamental analysis and technical analysis. Now, fundamental analysis. So fundamental analysis is basically to determine the fair value of the company. Now, the fair value of the company, the most important part of fundamental analysis is about the promoters. Like, as we know, if a hospital is doing well, it's because of the management. If a hospital is not doing well, it's because of the management. Similar thing is in share market. If a company is doing well, it's because of the promoters. If the company is not doing well, it's because of the promoters. So promoters' integrity, vision, expertise in the field in the particular company, then their experience and the quality of management. This all plays a very important role to determine the fundamental analysis or to determine the fair value of the company. Another important part is promoter shareholding. Like if a promoter shareholding is high, maximum limit allowed by SEBI is 75%. So if the promoter is, let's say, holding 70% of his company shares, so that means promoter has got much more belief in his company. So that's a good company to enter. Then if FIIs are in the company, now FIIs, come with lots of money and lots of research. They don't put even a single rupee in a company where they don't like even 1% of the company. So if a FII is in the company, that's usually a positive sign. And again, if the promoter is buying his own company shares or the FII is increasing his stake in the company, that goes very much in the favor of the company's future prospects. Now, like I said, every quarterly companies have to give results which show their gross revenues, earning per shares, yearly growth rate, cash flow. So this all helps us in deciding whether the company is progressing or not progressing, whether the management, is taking proper care of the company or not taking proper care of the company. Of course, many times government policies also affect the prices of the company. Suddenly the government policies, they increase the tax rates or the excise duty and all, or vice versa. And they play a big important role in the future prospects of the company and therefore the share prices. So personally, I would say before you buy any share, one should at least go into money control. Money control tells you a lot of things amongst this. It tells you about the promoter's shareholdings, whether the promoter is increasing his shareholding or not, whether there's what is the revenue of the company, what is the earning per share of the company. Earning per share of the company is increasing quarter by quarter or at least year by year or not. The yearly growth rate, cash flow, everything, most of the FII shareholding, everything is, and even mutual fund shareholding is there in the money control and many other websites. Now, technical analysis. Like technical analysis, this is the art and science of forecasting future prices based on examination of past price movements. Its basic assumptions are market discounts everything. Like I said, when a price is reached, this price discounts everything. Like somebody is thinking market, this company will rise, this company will is feeling the company will fall, the prices of this company will fall. Somebody thinks, this is overvalued, the other person feels it's undervalued. The FIs want to sell, the DIs want to buy, the shareholder feels it's good. Everything where whatever it is, the end is result of this is the price. So whatever price we are seeing in the screen, it discounts everything. Then other assumption is price moves in trends. Like we see when the price moves, it moves up, up, up for no reason. And then many times it happens, it falls down for no reason. So the price moves in trend, but these are all in small time frames. If we go for monthly, see, there are many operators and there are many people who are there to earn money from this, from short term. There are many people who do only intraday trading. Though I don't recommend intraday trading, nor do I do intraday trading. But there are many people who do just intraday trading. So, so they make the price fall or rise. And the third assumption, history tends to repeat itself. So when we see a chart, if you see that history, like previously from this level it has gone up, or from this level it has gone down, then it usually, uh, we usually think that this history is going to repeat itself. Types of indicators. There are hundreds and hundreds of types of indicators, like candlestick patterns. No, the candlestick pattern is a completely different subject by itself. Oh, I'm being told that I'm exceeding the time limit. I'll go very fast now because this was the most important part. Now, the candlestick patterns, like tell whether the share is bullish or bearish, especially in the time frame. Like if you see a monthly time frame, it will show monthly, it show daily or weekly time frames. Support and resistance is another indicator. Most of the shares, they increase the support and resistance. Like they turn back from their supports, they turn up, and from the resistance, they fall back. Moving averages definitely play a very important role in technical analysis. Relative strength of index, RSI, which we call it momentum. I'll go through a little fast now. MACD, you can take a screenshot of this. And, like they are studied, these are very important. This Bollinger Bands, they show the two standard deviations, then pivot points, 10 lines, 10 lines also. Yeah, volume is my favorite. Volume is the most important thing. And there are hundreds of more indicators. Amongst this, what I like the most is for any stock, my preference is momentum, strength, and volume. Whenever the momentum of the stock is going high, when the strength is going up, and when the volume is going up, it means it's a strong buy, and it rarely fails me. There are many other theories like Dow theory, Elliott waves, Wolf waves, harmonic patterns, and they all are good. They tell you the exact point from where to buy and where to sell, and they've got fairly 85% accuracy rates. The advantage of technical analysis is, like I said, this price represents everything: hopes, fears, greed, and expectations of all participants. It tells us time when to buy and when to sell. It tells us the stop loss. It helps us to tail the stop loss. It tells us the breakout and breakdown levels, and also tells us what not to buy and when to do stop loss and when to eat. Now, every 5% correction in market improves knowledge by 10% and reduce courage by 10%. So after 50% correction, which is not common, it occurs once in 10 years, there would be 0% courage and 100% knowledge. Figures are approximate and differ from case to case basis. Some good apps to learn and keep updating: Money Control, as I said, Skinner announcements, NSCindia.com, TradingView, Zerodha Kite. It has got a very good veracity. Stock Edge, Economic Times, and Newsmints, they helps us keeping updating our knowledge. Few good books to read: The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, The Warren Buffett Way by Robert Hextom, The Little Book That Beats the Market by Joel Greenblatt, Value Investing and Behavioral Finance by Parag Parikh. These all are real good books. The Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, Richest Man in Babylon. They all are classics in their own way. I would suggest you read this. They are very interesting books too. Now, similarities between anesthetist and stock markets. After this, I will now what advantages we have over others is risk management. Like anesthesia and stock market trading involves risk management. In anesthesia, we have to carefully assess and manage the risk associated with administering anesthesia to patients, including potential complications and adverse reactions. Similarly, investors in stock market must assess and manage risks associated with the investments, such as market volatility, company performance, and other economic factors. Decision making under uncertainty. We are often made to take critical decisions in high pressure situations with incomplete information, such as emergency surgeries or road traffic accidents where the patient is unconscious and no other relatives are there. Similarly, investors in stock markets might frequently have to make decisions based on uncertain and conflicting information, like suddenly Russia attacks Ukraine. Suddenly, America sends missiles to Iran. So we have to handle that situation also. Continuous monitoring and adaptation. Like during surgery, we have to continuously monitor the patient's vital signs and adjust anesthesia levels to maintain optimal conditions. Similarly, we have to continuously monitor the stock market and our investment portfolios, make adjustments based on changing market conditions, new informations, and involving investment goals. Both anesthesia and stock markets are complex systems with numerous interconnect variables. Like for us, patient physiology, surgical procedure, and anesthetic agents interact to produce the desired result. Similarly, stock market is influenced by multitude of factors like economic factors, geopolitical events, investor sentiments, and company-specific factors too. Now, psychology plays a very important role in uh, uh, decision making. Just like in anesthesia, our communication skills and ability to manage stress can impact patient outcomes. Similarly, in investor psychology, during emotions such as fear, greed, and overconfidence. Now, overconfidence is something we have to be very careful about, especially like these times when the market is continuously rising. So we have to take care of that. A long-term versus short-term focus. In both anesthesia and short-term and stock markets, we must balance short-term considerations with long-term goals. We prioritize patient safety and optimal outcomes in the short term while considering the patient's long-term health. Similarly, in stock market, we have to focus on short-term fluctuations, but also consider long-term objectives and strategies. Now, these are, like known to everybody. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, Radhakrishna Damani, and Warren Buffett. These are the pioneers of investments. He is Dr. Suresh Bhaktani. He is the person who taught me this basic technical analysis and fundamental analysis. He's now a retired professor. He was professor of chemistry. Now he is retired. And he has taught me the best. And believe me, he has charged me only 2,000 rupees, like 4-5 years back, to teach me everything about share market. And if you want to learn share market from anybody, he has stopped teaching now. But, consult a person who is nearby to your place, and the least amount he charges, the better it is. Because anybody who is doing good in stock market, he's earning enough and he won't charge you. Well, this is the middle one is Mr. Gunawan Bed, a CA, and the right person on the right is Dr. Prashant Mishra. He's a CVT surgeon in Sion Hospital, professor. And these two are, like the gurus of fundamental analysis. They go and meet the promoters, they go and see the factories, they go and take notes of each and everything, they talk with the promoters. If they find out their vision, if they are set, and they come back, take notes and come back. If they find the company good, they go back again and then again meet the promoters, clarify the doubts, and then invest in the company. And believe me, like 80% of their companies they invest in become multi beggars, like 10 times, 20 times in 2-3 years. In short, we should always dream big and back it with efforts. It may seem impossible at the start of the journey, but if we aim for the stars and land on the moon, it will give us the confidence to keep going and to keep dreaming big. Thank you. Sorry, I've taken a little more time. Over to you, Teju sir.
Dr. Tejveer has left or what? Our next speaker is Dr. Pankaj Gupta. Sir, can you take over, please?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Great. At the outset, I would like to first of all thank the ISA Borivali branch, a very dynamic branch, which I visited last month. I feel Dr. Parikh and Rajesh Rao and the whole team has been doing a wonderful job. At the beginning itself, they thought of having a webinar on such an important topic, which even I learned very late in my life. I mean, I'm 59 now, almost nearing 60. And if I would have heard these lectures maybe about 20, 25 years back, I would be in a different plane altogether. We've had a wonderful discussion on everything. And what I have learned about investments in the last so many years is that I feel FD is a big no-no. Gold investments in gold bonds or something is okay. Gold, yes, you have to satisfy your wife, so something in gold is okay. Mutual funds, I was doing it in a big way, but then gradually, once I switched over to equity and found the advantages, equity much more. Today, I'm well invested in the stock market, and I feel the importance of investments, especially for us freelancers, is that you should make yourself financially independent. The earlier you do it in your life, the easier and safer it is. You can stop saying no to any surgeon or any hospital where you're not comfortable working with. I mean, all of us in private practice have these situations where the OT is not comfortable, the surgeon is not comfortable. And once you're financially independent, you can easily learn to say no. With a small introduction, I feel I come to my topic. The FTF, that is the Family Benevolent Fund. I feel this is a good way to incentivize and give increase the prime life membership of ISA. The main idea is to provide immediate substantial financial aid to the family of the members on his or her demise. The fund is of the doctors, by the doctors, and for the deceased doctor's family who are members of the fund. Basically, I feel FBF was started by ISA so that we can just help the family of any young anesthetist who unfortunately dies. Dr. Mangesh Mehta was a young private practitioner in Chiplun who unfortunately had a very untimely demise at the age of 39. And just after he expired, the discussion started at the National ISA that we should have something by which we can help our young people who suddenly die, especially the families. And that's how the discussion started. First, Andhra Pradesh ISA took up the issue. And finally, after 2000, the National ISA took it up and we started the FBF. So what happens when we die? We know that the income suddenly stops, especially if you're a freelancer anesthesiologist and your wife is a non-medico. You have zero income and your family is in immediate financial crisis. I have seen it in Nasik also. I've seen it among a few close friends. Untimely deaths and the family is literally on the roads if they're not financially well off. And what can we do? We can definitely extend financial assistance to the family. Like in Nasik, we collected money from all of us, contributed some amount and tried to help the family. But I feel, what if the whole of ISA would have helped? I feel it would have made a very, very big difference. So that's how introducing to you the Family Benevolent Fund, which is there for the last 15 to years. But I feel somehow the membership has not been as what we would have expected. Just to give you an idea about some statistics, last year 7 members expired, and the amount that they had donated for, or rather contributed to the FBF was anything from 21,000, 16,000, 10,000. And the returns that their family got was 6,000, 6,000 and up to 6,000, 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs 24,000. Who all can be members of this Family Benevolent Fund? If anyone who is a life member or an associate member is eligible to join the fund, above age of 60 are not eligible. Couple members have to join individually and separately. What we do is we basically collect rupees 300 from each member of FBF. Like if 7 people have expired, 2,100 plus 200 is taken as the office fees. And this is passed on to the family of our deceased colleagues. As of now, we have about 2,608 members. And the last check that was given was 6 lakhs 24,000. And till now, since the inception, about 100 families have benefited, all ISA families. This was the last check when one of our recent Dr. Surendra Reddy, National President, expired last month, and you can see Dr. Parak handing his wife a check of about 6,24,000. So I request each one of you to please join the FBF and feel the satisfaction of helping the families of our colleagues. It is important to join early because death is certain, but its time is uncertain. By not joining, we are taking the risk for our family's financial security. We are depriving ourselves of the opportunity of helping families. As the age increases, the joining fee also increases. The earlier, if you can join this scheme, it makes more sense. Because you have to pay only for 30 years. After 30 years, all the payments are deferred and FVF pays for you on your behalf, and your family gets benefited at par with other members. So joining early is one of the most important thing, and you can complete your obligation before you retire. So you're actively paying. The amount of money that we have been paying has been quite minuscule. Just to have an history, as I said, Dr. Surinder Reddy, when he was the founder president of this, when the scheme started, it was in Ahmedabad that the scheme actually was implemented. And in 2014, the ISA National Governing Council decided to take over the ISA FBF under the National GC, and we have a separate executive body for it, of which the president right now is Dr. Parak, the vice president is Dr. Asit Vaishnav from Gujarat, Dr. Sugu Varghese is the secretary, and we have a registered office at Kakinada, and the administrative office is at Cochin. Some report of the activity I would like to give for the last year is total number of members is 2608. Members who joined this year are 37. Out of the 37, I was happy that there are 20 from Maharashtra, but I'm definitely feel that much more can join, because see, the more number of people join, say if you have 10,000 members and 10,000 members are contributing just 300 rupees. So imagine the family will get anything more than 30 lakhs. So I feel it's very important that all of us should become members of this scheme sooner the better, for your own family's benefit. About 109 people have died since the last, their families have benefited since the scheme started. The bank balance, I don't mind disclosing, is the current account has a balance of about 9,16,000, and there are FDs of about 1 crore 90 lakhs, which are used for various immediate help which can be given. Within a few days or weeks of the death being informed, some office bearer of FBF or ISA hands over the check as soon as possible. Advantages, the premium is very minimum. As I said, 300 rupees is nothing. If you compare this with any other social security scheme, I feel you're paying peanuts. The substantial social security relief to the kith and kin in the event of their demise is utmost important. And remember, after the age of 65, at this stage, we don't allow any new members. One very important thing is there is no medical certificate required. Even if you have any medical illness, it is no problem. The only criteria is you have to be an anesthesiologist and a member of ISA. As I said, it's easy and early settlement of death claims with hardly any formalities. Death fraternity contribution will proportionally go up in relation to the increase in number of active members. That's why it is a sincere request. All of you should become members of this scheme sooner the better. This is the form which can be downloaded from the website. This is the constitution. You can see it on the website. This is the claim form, which has hardly anything to fill, very few things. And some important FAQs, which I've already mentioned. You have to be below 60. The payment is done every year, either online or even we have an SBI Collect link. And please do visit the website isafbf.isaweb.in /web pages or downloads, and please sincere request to each of you to join this. Coming to my second talk, professional remuneration. I feel we all learned of investments in the last 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I feel as anesthesiologists, probably we are in a branch where we have probably paid much less compared to the time that we spend with the patient or compared to what our qualification is, if you compare it to any surgical colleague. I feel remuneration is one of the things which has never been discussed or talked about in most conferences. It's only when the PPF movement started in 2017. I feel now in the last 2-3 years, especially, I'm seeing that most conferences are discussing something about remuneration. We have given directives to each city branch, and the big drawback about our branch is it's been a dependent branch. And there was a time when there were very high mishap rates. In fact, when anesthesia was discovered by William Morton, it was his technicians who were giving anesthesia, and he was paying them a minuscule 10% of his charges, which he was collecting as a surgeon. So that is how this percentage system has continued for the almost for the last 170 years. But I feel today we are very much qualified. We have very good results of anesthesia. We have good drugs. I feel it's high time that we should ask for our rights. The first qualified anesthesiologist in India came in 1953, and the first separate body came in 1964. And it's really great that in the last few years, all of us are trying to fight for our rights. And hopefully, in the next few years, it's going to be a long battle. I hope we can do something. In a recent survey, I found I tried to judge how happy are you with your professional remuneration, and believe me, only 6.7% said they are happy. 39% are on the fence, and a strong 30% were extremely unhappy with whatever remuneration they are getting. Do we have alternate source of income? Should we have? 87.6% responded yes, signifying the importance of today's webinar. The day you have an alternate source of income, you have a passive income as an anesthesiologist, you can easily learn to say no. As a private practitioner, the earlier you learn to say no in your private practice, the better it is for you in the long run. Has a city branch set minimum charges? 56.3 said no. 33% have responded with yes. So it is good that what we started in 2017 is catching up now in most cities. And hopefully in the next 2 years, I'm still there as a GC. I hope that we have 100% city branches setting out the minimum charges. When you think of remuneration, what happens in the developed countries? I did a lot of study on this. There is something called the relative value guide, which one of our members had also made an app. Like the anesthesia charges are described the ideal way how it should be. Like there is a grading. The surgery is graded. The time of the spent with the patient is graded. There are added risks modifiers. There are base unit charges based on the qualification, seniority, special equipment required for any anesthesia, whether you're putting central lines or not. There are various modifiers, whether the patient is an emergency or it's a Mahurat case. PSC is absolutely a must in today's world. So based on all these things that we do as an anesthesiologist, it is fed into the RVG app. It calculates, and the base unit, of course, is very variable. It can be anything from 200 rupees to 800 rupees, depending on city to city. And as I said, these are other add-on modifiers. These points we had come out with, for minor surgeries, intermediate surgeries, major surgeries, and based on this, the RVG app will come out with a calculation and decide your remuneration. So I feel RVG is a very good thing if it can be implemented in every city. Some cities have implemented. There have been some problems, and I feel it is the most respectful way, scientific way to decide and increase your earnings. And as anesthesiologists, we'll start running for more number of cases. We will do less number of cases with full utmost attention to each individual case. And once we are financially independent, we'll have more family time, social time. We can do something out of the box, do some social work. It will give you good peace of mind, and you can increase the quality of your work. Like in many cities, also have this minimum charges for each surgery. This chart I was prepared when I was the president of NASIC in 2013, and this thing started actually in 1997 when I was secretary. And every 3 years we have been revising these charges. Every 3 years. So this is the old charges. The newer charges, 3 charges circulars have come out in after this also. Recently, after our circular went, some cities like Kanpur, they decided to decide the remuneration based on what they're giving spinal GA or brachial plexus, and they have come out with hourly charges. Like for first star, they said our charges should be 4,000. And for next consecutive hours, we will charge 1,000 rupees for every 30 minutes. For super specialty cases, they or high risk cases, they said we will be charging 5,000 for the first hour, and next consecutive hours we'll be charging 1,500 for every 30 minutes. Minimum cases, minimum charges will be 2,000 rupees. ICU visit will be 2,000 rupees. Any other procedure in the ward will be 3,000. And up to 24 hours after induction, no visit charges. See, I'm trying to highlight the various modus operandi that every city is deciding. Believe me, in the last 7 years, I'm in touch with almost every city in the country, ISA branch, and everywhere the work culture, the work conditions are very different. I mean, there are some cities which TKR, the anesthetist even gets 2,000, and there are some cities where the anesthetist gets even 30 to 40,000 for a TKR. So we are trying to come to a basic idea. That's why this minimum charges is what I'm trying to implement in every city. Most important take home I would like to say is anesthesia charges have to be independent of surgeon charges. There are so many cases which we know that the anesthesia management is much more difficult than the surgeon just taking a nick for an abscess. And maybe there are such cases we should be charging maybe even more than what the surgeon charges. Unfortunately, this is not happening. I hope that our guidelines that we had started in 2017 are being implemented, and we should decide our own remuneration. RBG is good. The third-party insurance, I feel, should be forced to recognize it as a separate specialty, and official charges of ISA, once implemented, improving our work culture is our ultimate aim. So please request each private practitioner to follow all our guidelines. In fact, we are updating our guidelines, which will be released in the next few months. We have formed an action plan, and in the next few years, if we are unable to get our due rights, we already have a action plan that we may have to file RTIs on various things like why we are paying more than surgeons for our indemnity insurance. Why salaries are same of anesthesiologists and surgeons, but in private practice it is not so. On what basis the anesthesia charges a percentage when we spend the same time as the surgeons in educating ourselves? So a request to every city branch to have minimum charges. Please submit it to us in the next 6 months. Form a vigilance committee to confirm charges are being followed. The minimum charges have to be fixed. There is no upper limit for the charges because, as I said, the charges are very variable depending city to city, OT to OT, and hospital to hospital. Our national IC has already sent this circular to all the city branches, to all the national secretaries and presidents to please come out with their minimum charges. This decision was taken on 1st April 2023 at Patna conference, and till now about 20 cities have already sent me their minimum charges. I feel what is ultimate dream of all of us is there is something called as FIRE, that is financial independent retire early. As anesthesiologists, what if we are professionally satisfied? We have adequate and justifiable remuneration. We are financially independent. I feel our happiness quotient will automatically improve. In this survey, I had discussed with anesthesiologists, and believe me, only about 7 to 8% responded that they're very happy in their professional life, especially the private practitioners. So let's all work towards an ultimate dream that we have for everyone. I feel we should be focusing on the solutions, not the problems. Being rich is having money. Being wealthy is having time. Financial independence should be your choice, not your option. Financial independence is the ability to live from the income of your own personal resources. So I implore each one of you to arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. It is unity in every state branch, which only can bring out the best in you, the best remuneration. And I feel if all of us can be like that, with not just being financially happy and financially independent, and if you are getting adequate money for the efforts that we put in managing every patient, because we all know that how important anesthesia is for the success of any surgery. Unfortunately, we have still remained behind the curtains. So a sincere request to each one of you, please come forward and ask for our due right. Thank you for your patient listening. Questions are most welcome. I have also put it in the chat box that we at ISA, when we started this PPF movement, we already have an investors group, we have a stocks group, and believe me, there is a lot of interaction every day. All of us are earning much more than what we were earning from the both this mode of investment before these groups were formed. In fact, next week on Friday, we are all meeting in Bombay, going for a cruise, where we have already formed a group. About 90 rooms have been booked. About that many anesthesiologists from all over the country are coming, and we have kept a discussion on. And believe me, most of us have never met each other personally. For the first time, we'll be meeting most of them and discussing more all about investments. Thank you. If you all want to join the group, I have already given the numbers. Please do be in touch. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Hello,
Wonderful.
Tej.
That's all the request, sir.
Tej, I
Yes,
think we will be moving on to the panel discussion now.
yes, sir. I invite Dr. Prajakta Ahire to the stage. Madam is a freelance anesthetist at Nashik since last 16 years. She's also been into direct equities since 2015
One more.
and actively doing investing and trading. Yeah. And she has delivered talks on finance and money management in different local and state CMEs. Dr. Neeraj Jindal, sir, and Prajakta Ahire, madam, would conduct the panel discussion. Over to you, sir, madam.
Tej, uske pehle, Dr. Alpesh, I would like to make an announcement that we are privileged to host this year's Yuva Marathon in August. So we are releasing the flyer for that today in the presence of Dr. Pankaj Gupta. So Dr. Alpesh Vanushali, I request the organizing chairman of this Yuva Marathon to please, this is a very short video presentation, and Alpesh, please do the needful.
Yes, sir.
Alpesh is our organizing chairman for the Yuva Marathon.
Is my screen visible now?
Yes.
With gratitude and blessings from the Almighty, let me present to you a trailer of our upcoming conference, Yuva Mahakon, which is going to be held in August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Sound name.
That's it. Thank you. So you can.
Thank you, Alpesh. Excellent. I assure you, the audio part was also equally good. But then we will be releasing it today for early bird registrations, and hope to have the blessings of Dr. Pankaj Gupta and all the SIAM's office bearers to make it a memorable event. Thank you, Alpesh.
Definitely. Wishing the Mahayuva a great affair. I've seen the vibrant branch of ISA Borivali, and believe me, it will be an out of the world conference. I'll definitely be there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Prajakta. Please, sir.
Tejveer, you can continue with the panel discussion.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes,
Radhika.
madam. Thank you, ISA Borivali, for giving me the chance. Disclaimer is same as of all other speakers. I will not repeat it. It is for educational purpose only, etc., etc. So today's topic for panel discussion is retirement planning. तो 30s एंड 40s में हम सब सोचते हैं कि हम फाइटर है, टाइगर है, पठान है, लेकिन 50s में थोड़ा हिल जाता है। 50s में कभी हमें कुछ कुछ होता है वाला शाहरुख लगता है, कभी लगता है नहीं नहीं इतने मेन हीरो तो है नहीं अभी, सलमान ही ठीक है साइड हीरो कुछ कुछ होता है वाला, फिर भी चार्मिंग है और इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है। लेकिन क्या 60s में भी हमें इतना कॉन्फिडेंट फील हो सकता है? 1 or 2 डिस्क प्रोलैप्स, स्टेंट इन हार्ट, टीकेआर के बारे में सोच रहे हैं। So, is it possible that even after retirement, we have same confidence and energy to live the life? With the help of retirement planning, can we be like Thakur of Sholay, who is equally powerful with the help of Jay and Viru? Can our portfolio management and adequate insurance cover help like Jay and Viru in our retirement planning? Generally, we think we are doctor and we earn sufficient. So what is the need of plan the retirement? So my question is to Prashant sir. He is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, suppose I say I earn sufficient amount. Is it necessary to plan the retirement? And my
Yes.
second question is, if you say yes, your answer is yes, then my next question is, what all calculation one should do when he sits and writes about retirement planning?
Right. So, retirement planning is necessary for everyone other than who is in the government job and joined before 2005. So, will be getting the pension. So, government takes care of those. But for the freelancers or other practitioners, it's very important that we need to do the retirement planning. Right. So, first and foremost thing is age, right? At what age we are planning the retirement, whether we are planning in our 30, 35 years or in our 50s or after 60. This will be little late, right? So we need to first, for retirement planning, we need to calculate the corpus needed, which Dr. Anshul sir has shown. So roughly to live currently without much of a leisure life, we say 50-60K per month. So around 6 to 7 lakh per year is sufficient. So taking into consideration the inflation, and if someone is planning in his 35 years of age, he will be needing 10 to 11 CR in his account when he retires, right? So when he retires, so roughly around 60 years, if he thinks he wants to take the retirement. So we need to decide the corpus. So first thing is that is our goal. So long-term goal, or depending on at what age we are planning. So the goal is to be decided. So goal is 10 to 11 CR. So next is how much time is left with me to do the retirement planning. That we need to calculate. So if 10 years is left, if 15 years are left, 20 years left. So depending on that, the investment goals and all others things will be done. So we need to calculate our current expenses, that what life we are living, how much are our monthly expenses. So calculate all your expenses, calculate all your income, current income as a family, right? Your spouse as a family calculate. So that will give that income minus expense will give amount left for saving. Right. So our goal should be that we should save minimum 30% of our take home income. That should be the goal, minimum.
Okay, okay. So do we need to calculate, consider the life expectancy also, sir? If I
Yes.
retire,
Yeah, after retirement, so that taking into that consideration that we will be living around 85 years.
Yes.
That's the normal life expectancy which we are seeing these days. So we need to take in that into consideration as well. So
Okay.
based on that, we need to calculate.
Okay. So my next question is to Daksha ma'am. Daksha ma'am, you are there?
Yes, I am there.
Okay, okay. Now we know that yes, you need to think of retirement. Okay, but what do you think? What is the proper age to think about it? You know,
Actually,
few people have concept. अभी तो अरे जवान है, you know. I will think of it after 50s or 55. So, what is
no,
your
no.
opinion?
In my opinion, and as everyone has said, you should start investing early. That is the retirement plan. Why you are saving? Because you have some goals in life, and the last goal is retirement.
Okay.
Whatever the goals to your kids' education, kids' marriage, your passion, your hobbies, but the last goal is retirement. So everyone should start for their retirement plan as early as possible. A minimum amount, at least some fixed amount should be invested for retirement planning. You
Okay.
can invest in debt fund or in mutual fund as per your risk appetite. Income kitni bhi ho, their life is very uncertain. We don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Okay.
So retirement planning should be started when you start earning.
Okay. So it is one of the goal, like kids' education, right?
Yeah, it should be one of the goal of your finance management.
Yes. And
Retirement.
you mean to say age is not bar. Like you are
Age is
30,
not
think
a
of
bar.
retirement planning. You are 50, think of retirement planning, right?
Yes. And the more early you start planning your retirement, the better will be your retirement, maybe earlier also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Over to you, Jindal sir.
My question to Prashant sir is the role of a will in retirement planning. Prashant sir,
Yes, sir.
the role of a will in retirement planning.
Yeah, will is very important. That should be part of, I would not say retirement planning, but it should be made well ahead of that. But it's one of the important part. And we need to do that because what happens, we are so busy in our day-to-day life in earning, doing practice or whatever we are doing. We tend to pass on the information to our next generation or our spouse. And if something happens to us, right, then the information is not available. So we need to make a very clear-cut will, and if possible, handwritten will is also accepted, but if possible, get it registered.
Okay. Sir, and I think sometimes we do believe too much in our kids. So spouse, the spouse name is the most important in will,
Right.
as you said.
Can I add to that?
Yes, sir.
I feel just having a will, it's always better to get it registered, because even if your will is not registered, your family will have to again go to the court and confirm that it is a true will. So I feel registering a will is as important as making a will.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Prajakta madam.
Yes, sir. Daksha ma'am, I know your husband is financially very much literate. You are earning very well. So what do you think? Do you think that he is financially literate, looking after the portfolio, and he is planning for our retirement, and I don't need to look into it? How you manage these thoughts, or you are actively aware about the retirement planning of you both? In other words, I wish to ask, do female also need to think of retirement planning if husband is earning well and managing the portfolio?
Madam, if husband is earning well, still then we are working and we are earning.
Yes.
So it's the same thing. We should also know about our finance management. It's altogether a different thing. The better part will be if both are planning it together and both are aware of it. Life, again, I will say life is very uncertain. So both of the partners should know about their financial plannings. The financial goals should be planned by husband and wife both together.
Okay.
See, we listen so many cases when husband or wife or either of the spouse died at an early age.
Doctors are
Especially
also
in COVID,
told.
we have seen so many people died at early age, and especially the female partner doesn't know anything about finance. हस्बैंड के पास बहुत पैसा भी रहा, बहुत सेविंग्स भी रहे, एंड इफ शी डजंट नो कि उसका क्या करना है और हाउ टू मैनेज इट, इट्स अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट थिंग फॉर अ फीमेल. सो not considering sex part, everyone, be it a male or a female, should manage their finance by own, and they should know about the finances of their spouse also.
Okay.
So it is not a gender biased thing. As education is not a gender biased thing, same is the financial education. It should not be a gender biased thing.
Perfect. Perfect. This was the most important question according to me. So take home message is you should be aware of the retirement planning, and not only retirement planning, but the whole of a finance of your family. Sir.
Next question is to Prashant sir again. So is it too late if one starts thinking of retirement planning at the age of 55?
Sir, I would say it's better be late than never. So at 50 years also, we can plan it efficiently, but definitely we would have to save a major chunk if we are starting the late, as we have seen how compounding works. So it's never late, may it whatever be age, but we should definitely start planning. So even after 50, you should plan it. No issue.
Okay. प्रशांत सर, आपके लिए ही क्वेश्चन है. सर, रिटायरमेंट, let us assume someone has taken the retirement, cash flow is already reduced as compared to the time when the person is working. So we wish to curtail few expenses. So what do you think of mediclaim or term insurance? Can one think of reducing the expenses of paying premiums, sir, in retirement, after retirement, mediclaim and term insurance? Someone may think, it is the expenses and why pay?
Yeah. So if someone who is at such a age that there are no dependents, neither the spouse is dependent on him or her, nor the kids are dependent, they are independent financially and they are not dependent, then one can think of stopping the term insurance, because the money which your dependents will be getting, they don't need it. But health insurance, I would not agree. That is not an expense, that is a must thing. We usually think that I am a doctor, I know so many doctors, I have so many colleagues, but the expenses are so high these days, especially in metro cities, that we need to have health insurance for sure, and one should not curtail down. You can curtail down a meal, I would say, because your work will be reducing, right? So the physical work is reduced, so you can shift to 2 times meal. Likewise, you can reduce that, but do not stop the health insurance premium. That I would like to emphasize on. Even you should continue with the senior citizen plans of health insurance, which few companies like Star Health and other provide, that even after 65 years of age, you can get the health insurance.
Okay. Sir, you mean to say health insurance is a liability, but it is must.
Right.
And we need to think of paying medical insurance premium in our retirement planning from the start. And term insurance, you can stop only if everything is settled and you have adequate portfolio to take care of you till the 85 years of age. Right,
No,
sir?
not as such but our dependent. If no dependence, we can stop.
Yes, means everything is settled.
Right.
And portfolio is big enough to take care of next 15-20 years. Right, sir?
Right.
Okay. Sir.
My next question is to Pankaj Gupta, sir. Sir, how did you get involved in PPF and how to bring happiness to all our colleagues in private practice?
Oh, that itself is a big talk.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, actually, it just happened that the two national presidents visited Nasik. One for a national sponsored CME. Brigadier Prabhakar came and he saw what all we had done in Nasik when I was the president in 2012. Having the anesthesia specific consent forms, the anesthesia notes, the minimum standards in OT, the remuneration. In fact, the remuneration chart in Nasik, which I showed, was shared on Facebook by him. And that same year, we also made a video, movie which we were showing in the theater for anesthesia awareness. So for all this, I was awarded a national award. And the national people wanted me to have the Nasik module in every city of the country. So that's how Brigadier Prabhakar and Dr. Chakra Rao sir forced me to come into National ISA. I was never into politics. I was never anything in the state IMA also, state ISA. But because of whatever I did in Nasik, it was recognized thanks to the beautiful team that we have in ISA Nasik, Rajata being one among them. And then that's how I came into National. In 2017, Dr. Virendra Sharma was a National GC. And he wanted me to help him in whatever we could do to replicate in the country. And that's how the whole thing started. And fortunately, now our movement is caught up very well. Every city is upgrading the anesthesia services, and the work culture has definitely improved a lot in the last few years. That's what I personally believe.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question. Like, how do you manage the black ships in your area who, do undercutting?
Yeah, see, this is a big problem that anesthesiologists face because we are not united. The surgeons try to exploit us. This I've heard in many cities that they call one anesthetist and they try to target the juniors especially. They call a junior anesthetist trying to replace the senior who may be charging more and try to pay him less. That's why these minimum charges are utmost important. No one in the city should charge less than that. More charge can be anything. And unfortunately, because of these few black sheep, see, every city has a few black sheep. I can enumerate one story which happened in the suburbs of Pune. There were 6 anesthesiologists in one area. They came together, decided the charges, circulated to all the nursing homes. Out of them, one decided to undercut, and the other 5 came to know about it. Obviously, it comes when the calls stop coming, you come to know about it. So they decided to have a social boycott of that anesthetist. Whenever the anesthetist had required any help, they refused to go for his help. So because of that, that anesthetist realized that it's better to be united. And that's why my slide was on unity, that till all in the city are not united, it becomes very difficult to implement that minimum charges that we are talking about. Upper charges can be anything. So I feel these black sheep have to be socially boycotted. And I certainly remember that in any city, if you boycott one surgeon, the city becomes aware that the local ISA branch is very active. In Nasik, we have boycotted 3 hospitals or surgeons till now. And believe me, because of that, Nasik can do what we have achieved till now. I mean, Prajakta is here, even she'll tell you the same thing. She must be working in a very good culture and being happy being in Nasik. So that's
Yes.
how we have to, target these black sheep and improve on our work culture. Otherwise, if you're not united, these black sheep are going to make things difficult for you. But socially boycott. That is the only thing I can think of.
And if there are 25 to 30% newcomers who all are doing that, then what to do?
No, that's what I said. The minimum charges, they cannot charge more than that minimum. Like if you're doing a lap appendix, if the minimum charges a city has fixed is 5,000, you cannot charge 4,000 or even 3,000. The moment it is brought to the notice that someone is charging, doing a lap appendix at 3,000, he has to be socially reprimanded and boycotted. You can inform the office of ISA bearers. That's why I feel it was there in this slide. A vigilance committee is required in every city. That is the next step I'm going to come to. Once minimum charges are fixed, then you have a vigilance committee. Any undercutting has to be reported. Upper charges can be anything. But the minimum charges has to be respected and followed by everyone in the city. That is the basic minimum. Otherwise, things are never going to improve in the country.
Thank you, sir. Prajakta madam.
Okay. Daksha ma'am, question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have actually 2 questions for you. What should be asset allocation in retirement planning before and after the age of 50. And generally, everybody thinks कि share market is risky, or equity is risky, and पता नहीं ना old age में क्या होगा. So what, according to you, is the role of equity at the age of 60?
Madam,
Repeat the question, ma'am.
no, I will answer.
Okay.
As I have already said that our investment allocation should be diversified in gold, real estate, equity, and debt fund. So before age of 50, this is my thought process that before age of 50, you can invest more in equity and real estate because these are risk investments. The returns are more and risk is more. So you can divide the ratio as 10% in gold and debt, which gives, generally they give a good fixed return, low, good fixed returns. And you can put 40% in real estate and equity. But as your age advances, you can increase your allocation in gold and debt as 20%, real estate and equity to 30%. At the age of 60, I think you should withdraw money from real estate and you should liquidate it because the process to transfer it to your heirs or nominee is very difficult if you are no more there. So it should be done. Either you should transfer in your presence or liquidate your real estate. And what should be the investment? It depends on before 50, it depends on your risk appetite, your knowledge. Like many of us are doing investment in mutual funds, some are doing in equities, some are doing in FNOs. In our wealth fund, we have seen that many people at the 60, they are learning FNOs and they are doing FNO. So
True.
it depends, equity investment. If you are a low risk person, you don't want to take risk, you can invest in large
सर मैं
cap
आपको थोड़ी देर में
equity
फोन
funds.
करता हूँ.
And if
Be
you
back.
are, you can take risk, you have good fund to support your retirement, you can invest in other funds as well. This is my thought process.
Okay.
Can I make a comment on it,
Yes.
Prajakta?
Yes, sir.
I'm almost 60 now, but even now I'm heavily invested in the equity. There are safe ways of being in the equity market also. I'll give you a mantra for all those 50 people who are still there. Wait for the market to fall. Just buy Nifty Bs on that day. Decide you allocate a particular amount you want to spend 5,000 or 10,000 in that month. Put it into 3 aliquots. The day the market falls, only buy Nifty Bs. Nothing else. Only Nifty Bs, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. The day the market falls. For Nifty are the 50 top stocks. And believe me, you will not get less than 15 to 20% returns, which is as good as any investment can give you.
True, sir.
I'm sure Dr. Jindal will agree to what I'm saying.
Sir, apart from Nifty Bs, you can buy Junior Bs, Bank Bs, Gold Bs also.
Sir, I completely agree to what you are saying. I feel as long as you can give anesthesia, you can safely, invest in stock market. Anesthesia is more risky than the stock market.
Sir, but the thing is,
Exactly.
your investment depends upon your knowledge and experience. If you are new, if you are new in market, you should not do risky investment. Go for large caps only.
Yeah.
And if you know the market from early age, you can do future and option also after 60 years of age.
Right.
Sir,
That is a personal. Everyone has a different way of looking at it.
Yes, sir.
But
depends on your knowledge and experience.
I will like to add one sentence about risk. In anesthesia, we take risk of somebody else's life. In market, we take risk of our own money, which we can definitely manage the losses. But others' life, sir,
believe me, my earnings from the market were more than what I earned during the COVID times. My CA also was surprised. So I've become a big fan of equity market.
Okay.
So as I said, everyone's risk appetite is different, and everyone has to decide what they want to get into.
प्रशांत सर मैं प्रशांत सर से पूछना चाहती हूँ. प्रशांत सर, in the same line, I will like to hear from you about two things. आपका एकदम sir, your name is very big name, you know, in the market. So, what according to you is the role of real estate in retirement planning, especially after 60? Daksha ma'am told her opinion, but I will like to know your opinion. And also the equity after 60 years of age. Sir, and okay, sir, go ahead. I'll ask in next question.
About real estate, I fully agree with Daksha ma'am that one should liquidate. Rather than transferring, I would say should liquidate to the heirs. Don't give the things
Property.
you are present to your next gen. Liquidate it, invest it in good dividend giving stocks in the equities, that amount. So that will act as that dividend you will be getting will be acting as your pension. You need not have anything else for that. And equity, I use simple formula 100 minus age of the person. So if we are talking of 60 years old, then 40% of the savings should go in equity without any doubt in it. If you want to be financially free or you want to live the life which we are living in our 30s, 40s, 50s with same grace and same leisure, then you should be invested in the equities. And this is I am telling right now because we are in the golden era of Indian equity market. So next 10 years are going to be really good for us. We are the fastest growing economy and we should not, maybe if when I'll be 60, 65 years and I am speaking in some webinar, my views might differ after 15 to 50 years, depending on that time's market condition. But today, everyone must be invested 100 minus your age. So may it be 30 years, 60 years, use it, same rule. So real estate liquidate, invest in dividend yield and 40% of your income should go in the equities. Maybe through mutual funds or Nifty Bs or direct good equity stocks.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Sir.
My next question to Pankaj Gupta, sir. Sir, why do you feel passive parallel income is more important for anesthetists?
Sir, आप mute हो.
Sir, mute हो.
Okay. In fact, I feel I did mention this in my talk also, because I feel that the moment you are financially free and you earn enough for yourself, you can easily say no to the those hospitals or those surgeons where you're not comfortable working with. The success of me being an anesthesiologist in my life, why I consider myself in those 6.27% of happy anesthesiologists, is that today I'm working with the best of surgeons in the city and I'm working on my terms and conditions. I'm not exposed to any. Of course, when I started my practice, I had to go through all the nitty-gritty. Like in '91, there was I've given anesthesia on wooden benches, no suction, no oxygen, and you know this situation which was really unheard of in those days. Today, I mean, if the juniors hear about it, they will really laugh me out. But because we have gone through that, and I wanted to cut off all these things, I started working on improving the work culture the moment I got a chance as secretary in '97. So things, unfortunately, we have excellent seniors in Nasik. They were always with me, and my president agreed to whatever circular I came out. And because of that, today I feel most of us in Nasik are very happy. So I feel to filter out your surgeons, learn to say no early in your practice. It's good to be financially independent. And our time, unfortunately, we were not, we are hardly paid a stipend of 2,000 rupees. But today, residents are paid 60 and 70,000 and 80,000. Believe me, in our stocks group, there are some professors who are very active. And they're already teaching their students how to invest. I was in Indore last week. I came across some residents. They were discussing about investment, which I was really surprised. So when I came to know that their stipends are 60 and 70,000 and they're already been investing in the market, I feel such anesthesiologists will learn to say no and not work with those surgeons they are not comfortable working with or those hospitals which are compromised. Today is the safe era of safe anesthesia practices. So no compromise regarding anesthesia. Surgery may be minor. Anesthesia is never minor. So to learn to say no, you have to be financially independent, and passive income definitely helps. Even these days, I say no many times where I'm called once in a while. But I know that my investment, what I have done, is working well for me. So I'm very happy. This is what I want to propagate to everyone.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. My last question for Daksha ma'am. Ma'am, we are hearing all about money since 3 hours. So, do you think retirement planning is all about finance only?
Obviously, no, madam. Retirement planning is about health. It should be everything. It should be social circle. It should be health. It should be finance. It should be about your passion and hobbies and your emotional quotient also. You should start as you should start saving for your retirement planning as early as possible. You should focus equally on your health also for your retirement. If you can enjoy your retirement only if you are fit to enjoy your hobbies or to complete your dreams. Paisa raha, madam, or if you are bedridden, what will you do with that money? So retirement planning is not only about finance, it's about health, your passion, make your bucket list, make your goals before retirement plan. Apart from your kids, make your own goals. बच्चे का एजुकेशन, बच्चे के शादी के अलावा मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे घूमने जाना है, मुझे फ्री में पढ़ाना है, मुझे फ्री सर्विस देनी है. Whatever, plan your retirement as your passion, as your happiness, as your health, and as your finance.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much. Shall we conclude, Jindal sir?
Madam, can I ask a last question?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Either Prashant sir or Pankaj Gupta sir or Daksha madam, either of you. Now let's say today I am 55 and I have achieved, my portfolio is more than say 11 crores. Now what? What should I do? Children are well settled, or at least they are, doing medicine. Now what? Yes, please.
Sir, you continue your work. If you are enjoying your work as an anesthetist, you should continue. Do the cases that you like. Don't do the cases that give you stress. And as I said, plan your retirement, focus more on your health, continue investing in share market, and as Prashant sir said, enjoy your dividends and your returns. This is my.
I've come across two anesthesiologists, sir. I've come across two anesthesiologists who tell me that at age of 45, they are financially independent. They have given up anesthesia practices. Every day they spend 9 to 3:30 in front of the, in the market. 4 o'clock they go with their family to the club. They play games with the children, have adequate free time with the family, have dinner outside, and come back in the night. They have given up anesthesia practices. I will not suggest this for anyone. What personally I have done is I do 2-3 cases mainly in the morning time. I do spend some time in the share market, and I'm socially inclined. So I do a lot of social work in my own way. So I feel everyone has to decide what they want, but definitely you should continue working, as Daksha madam rightly said.
Yes.
She summed it up very nicely. That is the ideal way to retire.
Let's.
Sir, anesthesia is my passion, so I can't stop working in anesthesia.
Exactly. I wanted to ask the same question. Somebody who is calling us for 25 years. Now I say no, I will work only from morning 8 to 2. And 5 o'clock if there's emergency cesarean. What to do? We have to go.
Yeah, obviously.
He can deny. Sir,
choose your surgeons.
Choose somebody who's calling for 25 years.
Sir,
Never change the anesthetist.
When I was 30, I am not doing any night calls. मैं जब भी सर्जन से मिलने जाती थी, मैं बोलती थी मैं सुबह 6 से शाम को 6 बजे तक काम करूंगी. After that, my time is for my family, and I am getting good cases.
And I enjoy working after 3:30.
I would say that you can find good anesthesiologist who matches your skills, and you can introduce him to the surgeon friends who are calling you from 2025, that he is as good as you. he can take care of your emergency situations. And you can excuse me from that. That can be a good solution.
मला खारट वाटलं पण ते बरोबर निघालं.
Uh,
कुकर लावायचं.
Prashant sir.
Yes, sir.
Prashant sir, yeah, I have a question.
Prashant sir,
Tej, can I ask one question, please?
Yes, madam.
Ma'am, yeah, please, madam. Please,
Yeah, and this question is to Prashant sir. So, you spoke about this regular and direct investment in mutual funds.
Right.
So today I realized I have lost quite a bit. Now, if I want to change over from regular to direct, so I have to, the procedure will be I have to redeem my units
Right.
and then rebuy them
Right.
or reinvest them.
Yes.
But then is some tax involved, will be involved?
So
I will have
it
to pay
depends
tax on that.
Whether your holdings are more than 3 years old, then long-term capital gain tax will be there, which will be 10%. So that's not a big issue. And paying that at present
No,
will be
10% of the tax will be a big issue.
profit. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can invest. And if you think that lot of tax is going to be, then you can remain invested for that amount. And from henceforth, whatever investments you are planning,
I
you
can
can
change
start
to
that way.
direct.
Yeah.
And another, this option of systemic withdrawal plan, how good is that option? And when should you start?
Yes, sir. I was about to ask you, please talk about SWP
Yeah.
or cash flow after retirement.
Yeah. So it depends that if your investments, or suppose you are not invested into directly stocks, you are not getting enough dividends, right? Then you need to have a systematic withdrawal plan, which is equal to your expenses. That much you should give such orders that much amount will come in your bank account by systemic withdrawal. So that will be needed if you don't have other financial sources. But if you have, then there is no need to go for systemic withdrawal. If your other investments are taking care, suppose you have some real estates, you have some offices, commercial spaces, which you have rented out, and those are taking care of your expenses, then there is no need to have any systemic withdrawal unless you have any goal which is to be fulfilled. Like maybe you need to form some company for your next kids, right? Something like that, then only systemic withdrawal should be there. But if you don't have any other source of income, then definitely SWP should be there.
And how frequent should it be? SWP?
It can be monthly. Monthly will be better. So you will get monthly certain amount in the bank. And if some amount remains, you can again always reinvest it.
And how much should you win?
So for that, madam, we need to calculate our expenses at that time.
Okay.
If you are planning for the retirement, suppose at 60 years of age, I'm going to look for retirement, then what are my current expenses? That means, so it will definitely different for different individual depending on the lifestyle which we are living, the cities in which we are living. So if you are living at some smaller cities, the expenses will be lesser. If you are living in the metros, the expenses will be definitely more. So
okay, but it will not depend on your investment?
No.
I mean, on your corpus, what you have accumulated, would it be a percentage of that, or it would be independent of that?
No, it would be independent because we should not withdraw unless we need it. So suppose like Jindal sir said, he has 11 CR plus portfolio. So he need not withdraw certain percent of this. I would say if he has such portfolio, he will be getting 40-50 lakhs of dividend per year. So he would not need any
He doesn't need
SWP.
He doesn't need, we need it.
Yeah, so we need it. So
yeah,
we need not fix it as a percentage, but it is the absolute amount which we need for our day-to-day living for that month.
Okay. And one more last question. If you have invested in SIP in a particular mutual fund and you had initially invested for 10 years, supposing you had said I'll invest for 10 years.
Yeah.
After 10 years, you have made a profit. But should you withdraw and redeem those units, or can you just keep it as a lump sum in the in that same mutual fund because it is giving you good returns? So should you continue, or should you redeem it and invest in something else?
Why to change the investment? If something is giving you good returns, so if suppose
means you had invested it as an SIP,
yeah,
now it is a lump sum collected.
Right.
It has your you had invested for 10 years.
Right.
So 10 years is over now.
Right.
So now I don't want to continue, but
Right.
should I redeem that, or should I, just let it be as a lump sum in that particular mutual
Let it be there only, ma'am, because longer the money will stay in the market or the investment, better will be the returns. The redemption should not be based on the time, but redemption should be based on the goals. So whenever you need money for any particular goal, then only you should redeem that. If you don't need that money, keep it that you will get the benefits and the fruits. So longer we keep the investment, you will get the better return.
So when you have kept it invested just like that,
Yeah.
does the agent benefit out of it?
No, no,
I
no.
mean,
Agent
so
is
if it has
benefited.
been a regular investment,
Yeah.
so still the commission goes to the agent, or does it
No.
go?
Yes.
No, no. It will go as an expense, but once you stop the SIPs,
Huh.
right? After you said 10 years I invested, after that I stopped. So if you stop it, then there won't be any commission to that agent. So
Okay.
every investment done, that commission he will be getting. So
Not
while
on the
withdrawing,
corpus.
he won't be getting anything.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sir, one last basic question from audience was remaining. I thought you might answer it. It was like, do you recommend for a newcomer to start with a PMS and then enter into direct equity themselves later? Or
No.
should they start with some low risk investment at first and then gradually move to high risk?
No PMS. Instead of PMS, choose, I would say, 10 mutual funds, invest 2,000, 3,000 in each mutual, whatever possible. 3 large caps, 4 or 5 mid caps, and 2 3 small caps. Invest them regularly, do the SIP, and that will fetch you more returns than any PMS.
In fact, learning is earning.
Page one question from my side. This may not be related to today's webinar, but indirectly, yes. Considering the rising healthcare costs, what kind of Mediclaim healthcare insurance would you suggest? Because
That will be
premiums are also
separate big webinar.
Yeah. I understand.
I would say at
Let
least
also
20 to 25 lakh family floater plan should be there, minimum in today's era.
Minimum.
But say, if we get some fracture, we get some sprain, and for that we have to spend 50,000, 1 lakh, we don't need insurance for that. We'll be needing the insurance amount when the expense is so big that we have to break some investment. The expense which is not within our monthly income, that should be taken care by the insurance.
Covered with.
And 25,000 rebate we are getting on that, I think, premium
Yeah,
paid.
we are getting. So whatever
Yeah,
max.
I think we should conclude.
Yeah.
I think we should conclude.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please. Thank you, everyone.
I thank
Dr. Tejveer,
everybody,
you can thank.
all the excellent speakers. Topics were very well taken care of. I think we have exceeded the time limit, but it was quite an enlightening webinar. We are looking forward to future such meetings on a regular basis. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, it was really
Thanks to all the
excellent,
speakers.
very informative, and all the speakers were very good. Thank you, everybody, so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Dr.
Thank
Pachari,
you.
Dr.
Thank you,
Daksha,
everyone.
Dr. Prajakta, Dr. Tejveer. All of you, thank you very much. Dr. Amula and Dr. Rajesh too.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Had a
you.
great time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pankaj sir. Thanks for joining.
Chalo, thank you. Bye-bye.
Sorry, Dr. Pankaj also.
Yeah,
Yes.
अरे no problem, no problem. तुम्हारा ही हूँ यार, टेंशन मत लो. चलो, bye-bye. See you.
Yeah,
Bye, bye.
bye. Tejveer, we will be conducting similar webinars in future also.
Yes.
sir.
And
cover
that
more
time,
things.
the timing will have to be monitored very strictly. It will be done by me, time monitoring.
Yes,
And
Yes,
the speakers we already have good speakers, so that is not an issue.
Just a tip, you should, such presentations on webinar now, people get bored. They don't like to read slides so much.
Yeah.
You should be directly point 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
Yes, yes.
Like Dr. Jindal had wonderfully prepared his talk. But I feel
Yeah.
you should have been given at least 1 hour for his talk.
Yeah.
Then he could do justice to that
Sir.
topic.
Yes.
You know,
Sir, actually,
he,
sir knows so much he couldn't compress it.
Yeah.
exactly.
No. He was going to talk
trying
only
to
for
be
15 minutes.
Yeah,
I know.
he was trying to be simple, but then once he starts talking, because he knows so much, he
I
probably
know.
he was not looking at time anyway. We were looking
No,
at
sir.
time.
So
Yeah,
how
but
much time
see,
did you take? I don't know actually.
I'll tell you, sir, I was waiting for my talk around 50 minutes minimum.
Don't tell me. 50 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
I thought probably 20-25 minutes.
No.
around 50 minutes.
It was delayed by long. But all the speakers
It was
exceeded
more than
that
40
time schedule.
minutes.
All the
But
speakers were.
So those
Sir,
take-home
थोड़ा
messages
आज
that we
technical
wanted to give,
glitches
na,
भी थे.
they get missed out, sir.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you don't have to teach everyone equity. It is impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
So
So
even 2
only
hours is
just give
less.
them take-home messages. There is
Okay.
something called as bar diagraph. There is something called as this. There is something called as this. That's all. Proper take-home messages.
So here in this audience, they were like, from newcomers to who never entered into stock market to the experts.
No,
So
experts
like
we are not
I have to
catering.
think about everybody.
Experts, no, Dr. Neeraj, experts we are not catering. We are catering only to newcomers and just
Newcomers.
initiated to have Unico.
Huh.
Experts don't require anything.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
no, but it was
Time becomes
good
very
that
important.
we have now people will start thinking on investing.
नंतर बोलू आपण
Yeah.
ग्रुपवरती राहा पण तुम्ही ग्रुपवर जाऊ नका.
Madam, as I said, if someone had taught me this 20 years back, I would have been much happier. I learned
I know.
everything the hard way. I
Yes,
invested,
yes.
I realized it was a mistake, and then again reinvested, and अरे ये भी गलती हो गया. That's how I learned the hard way.
Dr.
Yes.
Amola,
So,
if you have a SIP accumulated huge amount, and if your CA or investment advisor is asking you to transfer that amount into some other mutual fund, he has vested interest. If it has given you good
No,
returns,
he has not advised me. I just
yeah.
heard today's lecture and I realized that in between regular and direct, I have lost a lot of money.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That we all
that
have.
is why I was wondering whether
Most
I
of us
should,
have.
on maturity, whether I should, just redeem it or keep it as a corpus. If he's not going to get,
Never change a winning combination.
yeah,
Never
the
change.
worst thing
Never
was,
change a winning combination.
the worst thing was banks used to tell you to invest in mutual funds, invest in this, invest in that.
Yes.
10 years back, I didn't know what was direct mutual funds. I came to know about 3-4 years back. So today my direct investment is very, very small amount. Because now I'm quite confident about stocks. So that's why, I mean, I just as you, madam, I lost a lot in the, commissions that all these people get, ULIPs.
Yes.
Such a huge
ULIPs.
commission. 30%
Yes.
commissions have been taken by some
lot
of these
of
ULIPs.
Yes.
so
That's
should
why.
I withdraw that, the matured SIP and invest that into equity or no?
It all depends on which equity you are going to invest, madam. Do
I
you
only
know?
Take leave.
invest in
Okay,
A
chalo,
group.
bye-bye. I'll take leave. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Chalo.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Even I'm leaving.
Chalo, bye.
Thank
This
you.
is a never-ending topic and very
Yeah, I know.
interesting.
I know.
Chalo,
Exactly.
I
आप
think we
Thank
should
जिंदाल
you,
सर
have.
को
everybody.
डायरेक्टली
Chalo,
कांटेक्ट
good
करो
night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Sir,
Bye,
please
bye,
add
good
me
night.
to your
आप
group,
जिंदाल सर को
Pankaj sir.
डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट करो.
Yes, madam.
जिंदाल सर will guide you
Pankaj
directly.
sir, please add me to your group.
Okay.
The
Investment, the stocks
investments
group or the investment forum? No, there are two
Investment
groups.
forum. Investment
Okay.
forum.
Not the stocks, no?
No. Stocks
Madam,
also.
stocks are more
Add me to
exciting.
both.
Madam,
Add me
stocks
to
are more
both. I'm ready
exciting.
to learn.
We have 300, 400 messages in a day, madam, on the stocks group.
That's okay. I usually read in the evening only, so I keep my net off.
You learn a lot from that, madam. No problem.
Sure.
Chalo, see you. Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you
Thank
so
you,
much.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.